All right, let's see if this works. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Real Life Sports' presentation of the NBA Finals right here on both Twitch and YouTube, actually. I've got Derek with me all the way from Australia. Happy Monday to you, sir. Welcome
Good morning,
back.
good evening.
Welcome back, as this casting crew is now 2-0 in favor of Miami. Games 3 and Games 5 have been won both by Miami while we have been calling this game. So if you're a Miami fan, this is apparently the place that you want to be. I called Miami in 6. I'm going to get the result wrong, but I might get the games right. In any case, the trophy is once again in the house as the Lakers are going to try to clinch this thing here in Game 6 after a ridiculous performance by both LeBron and Jimmy Butler. Butler putting up 35 and LeBron James who put up 40 in Game 5. We were treated to one heck of a duel between absolute superstars. We're here at 3-2, LA leading. The starters for Miami should be no surprise. It's Adebayo, Crowder, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, and Duncan Robinson. And on the side of the Lakers, we're going to get Danny
Just
Green. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, one change on the Lakers side. Dwight Howard not starting. Alex Caruso gets the call.
There you go. So Dwight Howard, who had been starting the past few games, did start on Friday night, will not start here for the Lakers. Lakers decided to go a bit smaller, and Anthony Davis gets his first mid-range jump shot. That shot is good. Davis, who has been dealing with a bit of a right heel contusion, was kind of hobbled there late in the game on Friday, but was able to play through it. Although we will keep an eye on his health because certainly any issues with Davis would be of concern. But Tyler Hero going to get the alley oop to Bam Adebayo and the finish, beautiful finish by Bam, 2-2 here in the early going.
Yeah, Davis was testing out that heel early on. The physio was giving a bit of a look over, but he has started and he is playing.
And I think you mentioned that Dragic was also warming up, but he was doubtful by the official
He
injury report.
Yeah, not starting, but is active on the roster.
Duncan Robinson misses his first three-point shot of the afternoon. Robinson had another sensational game, 7 of 13 from beyond the arc on Friday night, 26 total points. He was a workhorse for Miami. Is Hero going to give this one up to Adebayo? Hero off the screen. We've been wanting for Hero to be a bit more assertive. He's been kind of quiet throughout these finals.
Yeah, and that wasn't a good pass there necessarily either. Not a bad idea giving it to Adebayo in the low block, but the pass was well wide of the mark.
Ever since he had his breakout game there with the 38 points in the second to game 5, I was going to say, against the Celtics, Hero has sort of kind of like been middling about in the mid-teens, which is basically his average production. But
yeah, and not shooting at a high clip either. I think that's more of the concern.
Well, yeah, not shooting efficiently either, but putting up a lot of shots. Just hasn't been making many of them. As Davis's shot here is going to be wide, and that is going to be technically a shot clock violation. So stoppage of play, and we will give the ball to the Miami Heat. Bam's going to play a little bit of point center here, matched up on Davis as Robinson comes around the screen, trying to play a little two-man game there, ends up turning it over. Wanted to get to Bam, and LeBron James is just going to get a run out here. Easy bucket in transition for LeBron.
Good steal by Anthony Davis, forcing the turnover, getting in the lanes there.
Tyler Hero going to pull up mid-range shot. That shot is going to hit the back iron so long. And once again, it's James in transition to Caruso. Out going to find Danny Green here in the right corner. Danny Green's going to miss another three. Oh boy, Danny Green, much maligned for that miss at the end of Game 5 that would have won the championship. Can't seem to hit that one. A 40% three-point shooter, but wasn't able to connect. And here I think Crowder should have just taken that one. Once again, Lakers in transition. LeBron, will he pass it out to Danny Green again? No, he's going to take it himself. And LeBron with a nice finish.
Wanted to take on Butler there, I think, in the lane. Wanted to make a bit of a statement play early.
Yeah, that's probably how the game on Friday night should have ended. But in this case, Robinson hits from 3 early. Nicely done there by Robinson.
Picking up where he left off.
Yes, he does. Caldwell Pope now drives in and gets fouled. Caldwell Pope will probably earn a trip to the free throw line for his effort there.
Well, indeed, that's a shooting foul. Duncan Robinson's first of the game.
This is a nice shot by Robinson. Kind of rattles in, rattles around a few times. It ends up going.
Yeah, very much picking up where he left off on after game 5.
Caldwell
He was
Pope,
the third scorer. He was the third component that Miami needed the other night. There's only so much Butler can do.
It was Butler with 35, Robinson actually with 26, and then Kendrick Nunn with some very nice productive minutes, 28 minutes, 14 points coming in off the bench. Adebayo contributed 13, Hero with 12, and Crowder with 11. Only 7 Miami players played. They've been using a very shallow rotation, and Robinson going to dive in, try to get it to Bam. And this seems to be, we've seen a lot of passes down low trying to get Bam going here, but Lakers doing well to defend this interior passing.
Yeah, that's well scouted. They're just trying to deny Bam the ball. And Anthony Davis again getting a deflection, knocking that one loose.
James, he's just going to pull up from the finals logo, and James is off. James was sensational from 3 the other night in his 40-point game, having a total of actually 6 of 9 from beyond the arc, shooting a very, very decent clip. And what a tough shot by Hero. The reverse layup does not go. Rebound down to the Lakers, and Davis is going to find Caruso, but that's going to be an offensive foul on Davis as Robinson gets in front of Anthony and takes that charge. I have to say, Robinson has been putting his body in front of the Lakers stars and been paying the price for it.
Now they're giving us a replay of the Danny Green 3 just to rub it in. The buzzer beater, last play of game 5. We'll talk about that in a stoppage. He's copped some real heat for that.
Just making a quick overlay change here, but as Butler drives in, and Butler's going to, in and out for Butler.
Good D by Caldwell Pope, just getting a body up and being straight up, not giving up the foul.
There, fix that overlay. The folks, now you got the stats of the folks on the court. Danny Green, pass outside to Davis. Davis thought about 3, ends up driving inside. Now Davis, great hands by Crowder, great defense, and now it's a 3-on-3 here for Miami. And Robinson pass up to Hero. Hero should just shoot this, but the fake, and Davis goes flying back to Robinson. Robinson for 3, swish it, baby, because that is pure. Robinson's got his first 2 3-pointers, and it's 8-8.
That's teams. A better decision by Hero. Knocked out a rhythm, pass it back to Robinson.
If Robinson can continue to hit, my goodness, then Miami for sure. Like, if you can become a reliable weapon, it's Davis going to be on Butler. A bit of a size mismatch, but Butler has been the best defender for Miami, best all-around player. Offense, defense, doesn't matter. Danny Green is put up, and he's short, but gets his own rebound there. And back to Davis. Davis thought about the open 3 again, passing to Green here in the corner, and Green can finally get it done. 1 for 3 there for Green.
But stayed with the play. Follow your own shots. I don't care how many you miss as long as you get rebounds.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he got his own rebound there, which is pretty good hustle. Bam with a floater. No good. Rebound by James. And James has it going the other way. James downhill. James for the finish. Ooh, my. Mark Hathaway, good evening to you. Good evening to chat. Wait, what's LeBron complaining about here?
I wonder if he wanted a foul in transition there. Although there's not much. I mean, there's barely any contact.
He wanted to call a foul against Robinson for the little body.
Yeah, Robinson's backpedaling there.
Yeah, come on.
That's a stretch.
PJ Rackmack, aka J Baby Ears, thank you very much for the subscription on the YouTube side of things. A big hearty welcome, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, I suppose, to depending on where you are in the world. Thank you very much for joining us. No Dwight Howard stuff at the start. Yes, indeed. Dwight Howard actually got like the first 4 points for LA. Remember that in game 5, but not in here. I wonder why the switch, Derek. Walk us through why Frank Vogel might be going with a smaller lineup here in game 6.
I just don't think Dwight's been terribly effective. I think it's been a matter of he's gone. He comes in early and he'll get 6 points or 8 points fairly quickly, and then you just don't see him for the rest of the game. And there was that tangle with Butler in Game 5 where he picked up a technical early. I wonder if they're just going with something a bit different. Miami playing a bit more small ball, so maybe they went with Caruso as the starter rather than Dwight Howard here. And so I wonder if they're just going small ball to try and change the pace, maybe put another shooter out there, try and get points on the board more quickly.
I think somebody in chat called Dwight Howard the J.R. Smith of centers in the past. So I think that was a quote maybe from Game 4 or one of those.
It was Game 5. J.R. Smith was actually trending on Twitter after the Markieff Morris pass in Game 5.
Well, it could also be that Dwight Howard had that awful turnover pass at the right as chat said he was the J.R. Smith of centers. He ends up with a terrible inbounds pass. And PJ Rackmack over from New York. So, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us here. Much appreciated. All right, so Derek, Miami's had its backs against the wall multiple times. And they just these Herculean efforts, these supernatural efforts by Jimmy Butler just keep putting them over the top. Are we going to see this? If you're LA, how do you finally put this thing away?
I think they might be wondering that one themselves. Jimmy Butler's been, last couple of games, has just been a force of nature. He looked exhausted after the end of Game 5. Butler had lost, he gave everything. So he might have been not so much eating to recharge, but been on a drip the last couple of days. He looked exhausted.
Yeah.
But I don't think you changed too much radically. They were just want that one shot off. They got the shot they wanted late in the game. Danny Green just didn't make it. You got to live with that occasionally. And you could change any one single play from Game 5 and the Lakers win.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of cleaning up some of those cheap mistakes. LeBron played phenomenally. Anthony Davis played really well, even a little bit nobbled. It was just a heel bruise, and he just copped some contact to it. So not super restricted, but it would be a little bit sore at this stage. So it's just a matter of cleaning up some of those minor errors. I think both teams will still think this game is very winnable.
Yeah, we're going to be on triple-double watch the entire night because, remember, it was triple-double in Game 3 that won it with Jimmy Butler, and it was triple-double in Game 5 for Jimmy Butler again that won it, despite LeBron's 40-point double-double on the other side that the Lakers seemingly squandered. So we got to keep tabs on how Jimmy's doing throughout the night and if he still has legs to keep this thing going. The Crowder is going to back iron, and the Lakers are going into the book, Derek, here early in the first.
We're only 6 minutes in.
We're only 6 minutes in, and I believe this is on Danny Green. This is going to be a three-point foul, and it's a god-awful foul because he arrives so late. Like, what do you...
Clearly moving in on the landing zone of the shooter.
It is Danny Green with a three-point foul against Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder, the line for 3. Put him in the book chat, so we have a nice tradition here on the channel. One of our other commentators has a running notebook of all the three-point shooting fouls. I mean, this is terrible. Like, the contest is late. He just runs into him. Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, not careful and not hiding it.
Right. Crowder makes those first two.
And we're gonna keep getting. They're gonna absolutely ride poor Danny Green.
Yeah.
We've now had 4 replays of this foul.
Yep. And he hits all 3, so it may as well just be a freebie there. Caruso bringing the ball up the court here for the Lakers. Davis to Caldwell Pope, who comes around the Davis screen, and great active hands by Hero. Anthony Davis tries to recover the ball, but it ends up in the hands of Miami. And there's a turnover there for the Lakers. Difference in the turnovers, once again, is that the Lakers seem to be capitalizing and being able to go and run in transition on any Miami turnovers, but Miami's having to set up half-court offense every time they get one. And here's the double team, Caruso and Danny Green, actually on Jimmy Butler, and this is going to be out of bounds. Caldwell Pope slaps it away from Hero, and Miami will have 1.4 on the clock.
Excellent defensive sequence by the Lakers. They've almost burned the entire 24 seconds here, and Miami never looked like getting a shot in the air. And Danny Green goes to the bench. We have our first subs of the evening. Iguodala coming in for Adebayo. And that looks like Rondo coming in
Let's pop that out.
for the Lakers. Mark Hathaway in chat, very tight LA defense. That last sequence was excellent. That's a great pass from Butler, though.
Beautiful inbounds out of baseline out of bounds play as Tyler Hero. Yep, collects it right underneath, and Butler manages to get it to him. 2 easy points for Miami as we are now tied up.
Yeah, brilliant pass. He's right under the no charge circle. Easy layup.
Caldwell Pope is long in his 3-point shot and hits the back iron, and the rebound is down to Miami. And Butler again. Lakers just bringing the double team. Oh, Hero should have just gone for that one, but it ends up kicking out to Crowder, and Crowder is off on his 3-point shot.
Yeah, there might be an issue of Hero starting to miss some shots. He might be a bit hesitant even when he is able to attack the rack.
Yeah, that looked like he had a clear lane down there. LeBron James, beautiful interior passing there to Rondo, and Rondo there with a nice lay-in and the finish with the right hand. Ever since the 2014 finals, Danny Green has not been great playoff-wise. Yeah, that's when he beat LeBron with that Spurs team. And here's another live ball turnover for LA, and that turns straight into points as Caldwell Pope lays that one in with the left. Again, Derek, here, the difference, the Lakers just get these free runouts, and Miami's got to work for everything.
Yeah, Miami stuck in their half-court sets. The Lakers getting back on defense very quickly, even after mistakes.
Jimmy Butler one-on-one against LeBron. Butler right underneath gets it out to Hero. Hero going to drive in, and he gets blocked from behind and runs into James. And it's going to be an offensive foul against Tyler Hero. That shot was blocked from behind anyway, so it didn't really have a shot.
And again, just great defense by the Lakers. They're in position here. LeBron sees that coming. Davis had the shot blocked, had all eventualities covered. And then we get a replay of the Caldwell Pope transition layup from the previous play.
17-13 here, Lakers in the first quarter. It's Rondo being guarded by Duncan Robinson at the top of the key. Davis outside to Kuzma. Kuzma is going to miss. Stephen A., who was calling for an APB for Kuzma because all points bulletin, by the way, because there's just nowhere to be found. As Kendrick Nunn shoots for 3, and he hits it. Kuzma has just been quiet for the Lakers.
Nunn again coming off the bench and providing an impact. His first touch of the ball is a 3-pointer. He had, I think it was like 9 points in his first 8 minutes in Game 5.
Ended up with 14 points on the game. And here's Nunn. You see Rondo. Oh, Caldwell Pope just kind of
just overcommitting there.
Yeah. As we've hit the timeout. All right. So there we have it. It's a 17-16 game here in the first quarter. Welcoming in all the viewers across both Twitch and YouTube platforms. We're in both places, so you get to choose where you want to watch. Same content on both, unless we're doing Thursday Night Football, in which case we actually get to show the Thursday night games on the Twitch side of things. But otherwise, we are here for you, answering the questions and bringing you the game. Derek, what's standing out to you here in the early going?
Like we've said a few times in chat, it's just the Lakers' defense so far. They've been... it's really weird that the Lakers' defense seems to be really swarming really tight, and yet they're still not building up a lead.
Yep.
Miami's still...
I was actually just about to check the shooting percentage for both of these teams. It's in the mid to low 40s, actually, right now. What's really messing with the Lakers is they're 1 for 6 from 3. So they really haven't hit any outpoint shots. Any 3-point shots. Miami, on the other hand, is 3 for 5. So they do have the 3-ball working here early, and it's Robinson at 2 of 3 that once again, remember, he hit 7 3-point shots in Game 5. Big factor here for Miami. And
the one 3-pointer that LA has hit was Danny Green.
Yeah, that's true. Ironically, I suppose.
Well, he's apparently really copped it on social media the last couple of days. Obviously, you miss a high-profile shot, people are going to be talking about it. But apparently he's really copped it to the point where his wife was getting sort of really nasty messages on social media.
Geez.
And it's like, he missed a shot. Like we said a few moments ago, you change any one of those misses in the game to a make, LA wins the game. You take one turnover off the board at any point in the game, LA wins.
Yeah. Because it's a one possession game, so at any point, right in the game, you could have been like, well, if we had made that one, we would have been in that position, or if we didn't get a charge called, or so on. The Heat have been the most resilient team in the league this season. I would agree with that. They are still down their star, Goran Dragic, who was warming up or was active during warm-ups, but there is basically no way he's playing right now.
Well, he was on the exercise bike earlier on, so I guess it's a matter of just seeing what he can do. But ESPN and The Athletic reporting earlier on, he is active. He did warm up. He is in uniform. Whether or not he gets much court time out of that, it might just be a bluff to try and mess with Frank Vogel's planning. But he is in uniform.
I would be shocked. If Dragic. It'd be a fantastic surprise, actually. But yeah, it would be surprising to me. If we have to go to a game 7, that game 7 would be on Tuesday night, 9:00 Eastern time, 6:00 Pacific. We would definitely have that one. I think we'd have our entire crew here too. I think Frank was like, I'm definitely coming for game 7.
That would be a Wednesday lunchtime game in Sydney.
Rondo picking back up here in the bubble, and in game 6, it's Rondo calling Kuzma out to try to set a high screen. It's actually Davis that sets it. The pass to Caldwell Pope in the right-hand corner is no good. The poor three-point shooting continues for the Lakers, but Davis cleans that one up and gets the high percentage shot and the finish right at the rim.
Always are going to be able to muscle down Jimmy Butler out of that one. Easy two-handed flush.
Butler working on Rondo. Gives it to Iguodala, who's now in the game. Iguodala trying to pass right back to Butler. They've tried to run this play a couple times now, where they're basically allowing sort of the passer just to kind of like slip the screen and then just dive into the paint, trying to get an easy bucket. But it's been well scouted, as you mentioned. It's well defended by the Lakers.
Yeah, they've had hands in the passing lanes there, so Miami not getting a lot of clean passes through.
Robinson took a lot of steps, but doesn't get called for anything as Jimmy Butler puts up 3. Didn't quite look like it was a little unsettled there. And the shot doesn't go as a result. Rondo's going to dive into the paint, and Rondo will score easily. 2 more on the board for Rondo. As Rondo is active there in the passing lanes, deflects it, and we have a turnover by Miami.
Yeah, deflected it into Kendrick Nunn's hands just as he was trying to sail out of bounds. So won't be a steal on the box score, but everyone in the building knows Rondo causes the turnover.
And then on this play here, the Rondo replay, he just kind of catches Jimmy Butler a little flat-footed. And Dragic is at the scorer's table.
He's at the sub bench.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, in a surprise to everybody, Goran Dragic is at the scorer's table. That's fantastic. We'll see how he can go. And LeBron James puts it up. Awkward-looking shot, but the rebound goes straight into Davis's hands, and Davis finishes. Lakers now being able to open a little bit of a lead.
He'll claim that was a pass.
I think it's going to go into the book as a missed shot here as Robinson gets called in the air. Kendrick Nunn, good defense by Morris. Back to Robinson, 8 seconds on the shot clock, and Jimmy Butler's going to put up a 3 from the right wing, and that 3 is going to go. Well played by Jimmy Butler. 4-point advantage now for LA, 23-19. Minute 30 to go here in the first quarter of Game 6. LA can clinch this championship if they do win this. And Davis, the step-back jumper, he's got that going there. The stat was that Davis has been averaging 30 points in the game after a loss. He currently has 8. So he is well on his way to hit that average. We have
a foul here on Morris early on. I think you could make a pretty good case that Davis would be, if the Lakers win the title here, Davis is finals MVP.
Is that what you're going for?
LeBron, I would go with Davis.
Okay.
As well as LeBron's played, Davis has been the factor, consistently the best scorer on the team.
Well, the media doesn't give us a vote, but that would be the vote if they did.
I mean, I can make up a paper mache trophy or something, and we can send it over.
It might not survive the international trip.
I'll go get one of those world's greatest dad coffee mugs and cross it out and put finals MVP.
There you go. Dragic's first play here tries to alley-oop pass to Bam Adebayo. That goes high off the backboard, but Bam gets fouled in the process here. He just manages to collect this thing and gets fouled.
Yeah, Anthony Davis just underneath him as he tries to catch it.
What is the Dragic injury, and would we see it here? The Dragic injury was a torn plantar fascia in his left foot. So if you look at your foot, it's the underside of your foot. So there's a muscle there that basically connects. I'm not a doctor, but I think this is the heel bone essentially up to the toes and lets your foot flex sort of up and down.
Yeah, it's just, soft tissue injury on the sole of the foot. We actually got a brief replay of where they think it happened.
And so it's just like it's a muscle tear, but obviously if it's on your feet, it's quite uncomfortable. LeBron diving in. LeBron's going to get and one here as Crowder, I think, is the recipient of maybe a arm to the face. Definitely ended up worse for wear on this one. Insult to injury there with the foul.
Yeah, it's just copped the sort of forearm from LeBron as he drives forward, but it doesn't look like anything other than a basketball move. He's holding the ball as he goes up for the layup.
Oof.
And
but if somebody did that to LeBron, there would be issues.
And now LeBron's chatting about it because I think the referees are going to look at this.
Yeah, I do kind of think
we're going to commercial.
He kind of swings up with this. On the replay, I don't know.
But he's very tight to the body. He's not really swinging out or anything else. As he goes up for the layup, he is still staying quite tight. And so if you talk about the concept of the cylinder, like LeBron's not going the full sort of NBA jam clear out. He is staying quite tight to the body. So I'd be surprised if this gets overturned, if they call an offensive foul. I think they stick with the call on the floor.
Well, right now the call on the floor is an and one. It would have the Lakers up 7, possibly 8 if it stands, and looks like we've just had a quick replay here that we're coming out of as we are back, not to live action, but we are back to the stadium itself.
And we're getting a reverse angle there. Oh, see, it looks a bit worse from the reverse angle.
Yeah, let's look again. Well, actually, from the reverse angle, I give more flexibility to James here on this one.
Yeah, I still don't think it gets overturned.
Because Crowder also hits him in the face. I mean, they both hit each other in the face here.
Yeah.
Crowder comes down and comes across James's nose.
Yeah, he's trying to go for the strip.
And just it doesn't look intentional by any stretch.
And then the ref going to the score bench doesn't turn his microphone on, so
we couldn't actually hear what he said.
No, LeBron going to the free throw line, so I assume that's not being changed.
Yeah, this will be the end one. No hostile act is what they're saying.
Eight, 5, and 3 for LeBron early. We're in the final minute of the first after all that.
Trying to go for his 9th point here in the quarter. And the free throw to complete the end one is good. 8-point lead for LA with just under a minute to go. As Iguodala bringing this one up the court. Iguodala to Bam, over to Dragic. I have to say, I am very impressed with the fact that Dragic is playing. And here, Dragic with his first 3-point shot is way off, actually. Maybe a little bit of rust there for Dragic. He's got to get himself back into the flow of the game.
I mean, it's impressive as he can move as freely as he is.
Yeah. Usually this injury takes it takes 3 weeks, and it's been
6 days.
One? Yeah, 6 days. Kuzma passing back to Morris. Morris outside of Caruso. I mean, he's even moving on defense pretty good. LeBron James, full steam ahead, kicks it back out to Morris. Extra pass to Caruso. Caruso for three. That's short off the front iron. And Miami here with an opportunity to hold for the final shot of the quarter. 15 seconds to go. No shot clock. And we will have Eric Spoelstra calling out the play from the Miami bench. We got 7 seconds to go. High screen here by Crowder. 6, and they're actually going to call Kuzma for a cheap foul. And Dragic
just
actually
bumping.
Shot the 3 and made it.
Yeah, just bumping Jay Crowder as he tried to set the screen for Dragic.
Yep. Game 6, if we were actually changing locations, would have been in Miami. So it would have been quite close even to where we're playing now here in Orlando. Crowd at the free throw line can't make that shot. Miami has made a living at the free throw line this series. That's been a way for Miami to actually keep the score close. That foul, that miss there, not the best.
And there's a Solomon Hill sighting. He comes in for 5 seconds of play.
Someone who we have seen we saw in the Lakers series, but not as much since then. Miami taking 22 free throws in Game 5, and it was one of these games that they took something on the order of 30. 26 in Game 4 as Crowder's second free throw rolls in and out. That shot is no good there either. The last second heave by LA is no good. So there you have it. That's it. At the end of 1, it's 28-20. Lakers in front here in Game 6. 1 win away from the NBA title. LeBron and co trying to go and close this thing out. LA strategy, threaten shot, pass, James for layup. I mean, they are sort of riding James, right? Trying to give it to the hot hand here. I mean, he carried them in the last game.
That's almost a pretty good haiku there from Mark. Zen basketball philosophy.
Now, Miami was, Miami was leading in Game 5, which it won at the end of 1. And actually in Game 3, Miami was also leading at the end of 1, 26-23. In the games that Miami has lost, LA has been leading after 1. So first quarter maybe a bit of an indication of how things end up going for the game. Although we have had chat say that, whoever wins the third quarter ends up winning the game, and in that case, Miami was doing it pretty often. Well, they did win third quarter last game.
Yeah, they won the quarter and they were up at the end of the third quarter.
Exactly.
Lakers shooting 1 for 8 so far from deep. Again, Danny Green with the only 3-pointer so far for LA.
Otherwise,
Fast break points, 10-0.
Mm-hmm.
And then points in the paint 18-4 for LA.
Off of the 6 Miami turnovers, which has basically been triggering that LA fast break. LA shooting a 12 for 22 at 54.5%. So even though they're really not shooting it well from deep, otherwise, let's see, they're 11 of 14. They're 11 of 14. Otherwise, right? Which is pretty incredible.
Which is excellent.
Yes. So,
not quite, actually a bit better than 80% if you take the 3-point shooting out.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, and then they've been getting high percentage shots and easy run-ups in transition, which is the replays that we're getting here. 10-0, pretty awful. Anything off of the turnovers for Miami, in favor of Miami, or I don't think so here.
No, not really. 6 points off turnovers, but I think that's just getting into their half-court sets. But again, the fast break points 0 in the first period. DS Gaming FN in the Twitch chat. Schedule conflict kept freeing away today, so I've stepped in.
The also getting out rebounded significantly. LA out rebounding Miami significantly, 12-7.
Yeah, and 2-0 on the offensive glass.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't have Twitch chat open earlier. I do have it now. I've got both of the chats open, so apologies for that. Jeff Bezos saying, I think he's I hope the Miami fans aren't throwing in the towel just yet, because there's still very much. I mean, Miami definitely has to believe that they're able to win this. And Goran Dragic is back and playing, a 20-point average scorer for Miami. So that has to be certainly significant here. The pass from Butler to Adebayo, and Adebayo will collect, gather, and then score. So cut into the lead.
The gathering and scoring took a bit longer than he would have liked, but it did work. Three assists for Butler.
Rondo trying to drive right. Rondo up with the right hand, and Rondo gets the friendly roll there. So Rondo, some nice contributions from him today. But like we've said,
pretty layup.
It can't just be James and Davis like doing everything, because basically that's what it was in the last game, and they still they need a third scorer. They need a third scorer.
Yeah, Butler driving into the lane there and drawing the foul on LeBron, so he will go to the free throw line.
Twitch chat has a new name for Goran Dragon. I like it.
Wade in the YouTube chat, can the Heat win? Yes. 8 points is nothing in this game. 8 points is nothing in this series.
Ooh, gonna be tough for them to do it though if they keep missing free throws. Crowder's missed 2, and Butler has missed another one there. I mean, the Miami Heat are basically 80% or better from the free throw line throughout this series.
5 for 9 tonight. It's not an impressive statistic.
Really, really surprised at how much they're missing from the free throw line. 6 of 10 now as Butler hits that second one. And now we have a 7-point affair here on game 6 rather, as Rondo goes for 3, and now it's a 10-point game as Rondo drills that from the outside. People just left him alone, dared him to shoot, and he took him up on it.
Yeah, miscommunication on defense. He was wide open.
Kendrick Nunn, once again, driving, has hit a three-pointer tonight. That's his only points. Screen by Adebayo, screens out Rondo and giving it to Butler. Butler, they have to Iguodala with 3 seconds on the shot clock, and Iguodala's 3 is long, but the nice rebound there by Adebayo, and he definitely gets fouled there, and they do. Foul called on Green?
That's on Rondo. It's
on Rondo.
Just an unintentional trip as Adebayo came down with the rebound.
My goodness, on this Rondo 3, I mean, there's no one within like 8 feet of the dude. Holy cow.
No, I think Iguodala and Butler both went to another player, and that left Rondo wide open.
14 seconds on the shot clock, rather, as Iguodala goes for 3, and Iguodala's 3 is going to be way off. But Jimmy Butler with a beautiful rebound there. The offensive board going the way of Miami. Another fresh 14 seconds on the shot clock. Kendrick Nunn working on Danny Green. Nunn trying to go right, now in the paint. Nunn there with the left hand. Can't quite finish. Butler still fighting for it. LeBron tips it to himself. And the rebound now finally to LA. Miami had 3 cracks at the basket. Didn't get any of it. And Morris passing down low. Dragic fouls Morris. And that is a shot on the floor. Not a shooting foul. Lakers will inbound.
Yeah, Dragic hit him as soon as he caught it. So just to stop that shot going up, he knew it was mismatched down there. Miami home game, so Heat fans in the virtual stands.
There you go.
A Brazilian flag.
There are some Laker fans too, though. How'd they sneak in? Yeah. I guess each venue has fans from the other one, right? There's probably some Lakers folks that live in Miami that would have gone to this game. It seems reasonable.
There's Lakers fans everywhere. You can go anywhere in the world, you'll find a Lakers jerseys.
There you go. LeBron James driving on Adebayo wins that matchup easily. LeBron just playing bully ball there, finishing with the right hand, and that forces in Erik Spoelstra timeout here as LA has extended a 12-point lead with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, 35-23. Lakers in front. Julian reacts. Thank you very much for tuning in. Glad to know that we're going to helping you out, keeping you up to date with the game here at work. Thank you to everybody for joining us across both Twitch and YouTube platforms. Make sure to follow on the Twitch side of things and hit the sub button on the YouTube side of things if you're hanging out and having a good time. And we will be back for Game 7 if there is one. But if there isn't, then this would conclude our NBA coverage for the season. We'll transition to keep doing the Thursday night football games. We have some international soccer, Liverpool for sure, and then once college basketball picks up, we will be doing that as well. All right, so Spoelstra forced his hand. His hand is forced here as LA on a bit of a run.
Yeah, and just Miami just not getting easy shots in the air at the moment and not shooting well anywhere. 5 for 9 from the free throw line, 7 for 20 from the field. The 3-point line, 40% is all right, 4 for 10, but they're just not getting anything easy. The LA defense has been really good, forcing 6 turnovers, only 2 steals, interestingly, but there's a bunch of deflections and things that they haven't resulted in a live ball turnover, but they've forced turnovers. We saw one from Rondo on the sideline earlier on, just forcing a bad pass and a bad catch. So Lakers not giving them anything easy, and I think that's been the tone of the game so far.
A question of what do you think of rumors Rondo back to the Celtics? Wow. That would be... Derek, you have a thought here?
I maybe. I think the issue there is going to be, are you looking at the Celtics making some big moves? They made the conference finals. They just didn't win it. So the question is, do you give that team another run or do you look to make changes? It's going to be a frantic free agency period, actually. That's what we're talking about later on, because we may only have 2 months between this season ending and the next one starting, or maybe 3 months at most, if we're looking at a January start, maybe even a Christmas Day start. So there's not going to be a lot of time for teams to get new players signed, let alone integrated into the rotation.
Yeah, and so, well, currently the Celtics backcourt, if my memory serves me from when we were doing the Celtics series, you got Jaylen Brown, then you got Kemba Walker, the other K, and, well, Tatum, but, like, Tatum isn't, like, the guard, right? But so you would come in and Rondo could come in off the bench and, like, play relief minutes for those two. I don't know, would you start him over either of those two players?
No, I'd have him in as an impact player off the bench. But Rondo is the kind of player you could slot into almost any system and have him make an impact. Mark, normally the draft would be June, training camp would be September, preseason games mid-October, and then sort of near end of October, near Halloween, you'd start the season proper.
Yeah, the draft being delayed well into November, actually.
Yeah, November 18th.
Yeah, we might start college ball before there's actually an NBA draft, which would be kind of nutty. The drive here by Crowder is too strong. That won't go, and Adebayo's attempted putback won't go either, and Jimmy Butler's just going to foul LeBron James. A hard foul here by Jimmy Butler to prevent James from getting in an easy layup.
Needed the hard foul because LeBron was driving hard.
LeBron was full head of steam here. Jimmy Butler just couldn't really do much there. Yeah, Miami's usually good coming out of timeouts. They had the right play drawn up. They just didn't hit it. The basket has got a bit of a lid on it at the moment. Even the easy ones for Miami not going in. And I think that's
they're absolutely sort of wading through treacle at this point. It's all coming relatively easily for the Lakers, very difficult for Miami.
Who's got the most fouls on Miami? Derek, you got that stat for us?
Not immediately, but I can check that. I don't think we've got anyone in major foul trouble.
Not tonight so far. LeBron James is one of two.
Yeah, Heat only have a bunch of players on one.
So, yeah, no more than one foul apiece for the Heat players. And Dragic is going to drive in. And Dragic, yes! Dragic will finish with the left hand. What a beautiful runner.
He's on the board.
Dragic is finally on the board.
Mark, treacle is like molasses.
Yes, which does or does not make its own brand of alcohol. I can't remember. Oh, and LeBron James actually down on the court, favoring his left hip there. And play has stopped.
And Markieff Morris deliberately commits the foul in transition there to give LeBron a breather.
LeBron went down hard on the court after passing up the ball here. He was working on Dragic. Oh, they just like collide hips here, thigh to hip.
Yeah, there's nothing in that. It's just contact, but
yeah. He looks all right, though. He's back up and moving, so we'll resume play. And Dragic is going to drive into the paint. Dragic trying to work on Morris. Morris, great defense there. Dragic puts up a wild shot. Goes right over the rim, and Adebayo can't corral it. Out of bounds on Miami. Still trailing by 10 here with 8:52 to go.
Yeah, it's still all coming. Nothing easy for Miami. Everything's challenged. Everything's being touched.
Morris, wide open from the outside. Morris with the contribution from 3. 13-point now. Field goals, LA shooting almost 60%. And remember, it's much better than that if we take out the 3-point shots. Hero trying to go on James. Has to pass it up to Adebayo. Back to Hero. Hero's going to try a 3 of his own, but looks like play is stopped.
Adebayo traveled.
Adebayo traveled. There you go. Another silly turnover here for Miami, unfortunately.
Yeah, lifted his pivot foot on the jab step. We get a replay of the Markieff Morris corner 3 as we talk about that. But yeah, Adebayo sort of went for the jab step, but lifted that back foot.
Miapra 40 still calling for Olynyk here as LeBron James hits the deck, manages to get the ball out to Markieff Morris. Does a little one of those like forward tumble rolls, when you're in like kindergarten gymnastics class that you try to go on the mat. I could never do that. I was never flexible enough. It was really a struggle. As Butler comes in, Butler with the right hand. That shot, finally, we have a shot here for Miami that drops.
No, we call it physical education over here, but PE was never my best subject.
Well, see, they make you go forward first, and then they may try to make you go backwards, and I never got past the forwards piece. So, lucky tip in here for LA. I can't quite tell if that was Caruso or one of the other players that ended up getting that one to go. Lots of hands.
It's Caruso. He's got credit for the rebound, so I'm assuming they'll give him credit for the tip.
Rebound and points there. Jimmy Butler working on Kuzma. Kuzma absolutely flops on the floor. It's the only notable thing we can call his name for, I think, at the moment, is Butler drives in again. Crowder for 3 on the outside. No good there. And Kuzma down with the rebound.
It's not getting any better.
No. Down low, there is a foul called. I think this foul is going to go up against Crowder.
It is his second.
James goes to the bench, though.
I think he's just going to get some, a bit of very brief pain relief, and then he'll come back in. It'll be like the what we call the magic spray in cricket. It'll just be a very brief painkiller break.
Yeah, wow, as Danny Green goes. Danny Green is the latest LA player to flop as Robinson was guarding him, and he just went. It looked like a stunt man. When you get hit by the bullets and they go flying like on the movie set. Yikes!
The background of a bar fight, just staggering backwards.
LA has a rebound here as Rondo tries to set up the offense once again. Danny Green's going to go for 3 from the left. That's way off. It was off by the time he let it go. And the fight for the rebound between Davis and Bam, actually Crowder is the one that ends up coming up with it. And Bam is going to go full head of steam here, and Bam's going to get fouled on his way. No, he's not. It's actually Hero that comes up with a rebound. Hero with a really tough shot, and that's going to hit the side of the backboard. That was a poor shot there. Kind of got double teamed, though. Not sure he had much of an option, and Rondo going to lay in. Rondo with the right hand, and another timeout coming for Spoelstra. And the Heat, as LA has now opened a 15-point lead, preparing to dominate here in Game 6.
Those finger rolls for Rondo are becoming a problem. That's like 4 of those he's hit. Just driving the right side of the lane, a right-handed layup, high off glass, and he's hit a bunch of them now, and just crosses over, gets Hero to hesitate, gets that first step, makes the room for the shot.
Is Rondo the leading scorer for LA right now with the 311? Because James is on the bench, so his score doesn't come up right here. But
yeah, James has 11 as well, but Rondo's got 11 points in 8 minutes on 5 for 5, and I think all of them are those high driving finger rolls.
Wow, so Rajon Rondo tying LeBron right now for a team high 11 points, and those two tied to lead all scorers at the moment with the 11. Rondo has huge hands. Well, it helps being a point guard with large hands, so you can just palm the ball and just chuck it. So definitely makes things a lot easier here. But yeah,
I can't say I know how that feels.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, life's tough sometimes. That's why we're here and not actually on the court playing. But we get to enjoy the game with everybody in chat, which is great. So that's okay.
I know somebody's actually trying to talk me into returning to play, so I should stream some of those for the lulz.
live. Can I actually call those games? Is that what we're gonna do? We can stream them. I'll call them. It should be a beautiful partnership there.
It would depend how many words you can get in without laughing.
Well, that's part of the fun. As quick check on the stats here, 6 minutes and 16 seconds here in the second quarter to go. LA has stretched this thing out to a 15-point lead. It's a 14-7 quarter here for LA. Miami shooting 9 of 27, 35%, and 4 of 12 from beyond the arc. They can't quite get their free throws to go either, only 5 of 9 in that department. And on the other hand, 15 of 20 from 2 for the LA Lakers. They're shooting 75% from 2 and 53% for the game. So far, a dominant performance defensively by LA. They have come out locked in and
attacking the rack as well. Miami has 27 points for the game. LA has 26 points in the paint.
Points off turnovers was something you were tracking earlier, Derek. Any changes there?
Nah, still very low. I think that's just an interpretation thing. The 5 points for LA, 6 for Miami.
The transition is what you were looking at, though.
Yeah, the transition. Fast break points 12-0 in favor of LA. And so, yeah, we were talking about it earlier on. LA is just locked in defensively. We said it a moment ago, but every pass is deflected. Every shot is challenged. Every rebound, there's 2 guys going for it. Miami's got 4 offensive rebounds, which is only 1 short of the LA tally, but LA is giving them nothing easy.
Jeff Bezos saying Heat may as well build a track for Rondo with barriers around it. It's just too easy. Just give him a free lane and let him go. That does what it looks like right now. And his points being on display, 7 points in game 1, 16 in game 2, 4, 2, and 4 in the next 3 games. But tonight he's got 11 so far, and we've only played about 18 minutes.
Yeah, much of the series he's only shooting 30%, and then he's 5 for 5 so far today.
Definitely a positive lift for LA, who's been needing a third scorer to emerge here to make sure that they can put this finals away. It's been really AD and LeBron carrying the majority of the workload. And again, Tyler Hero trying to drive there, and that shot is blocked, but it will turn into a shot clock violation. Again, the LA defense just stifling.
Yeah, Hero had to put that one up with the shot clock expiring. So to some extent, they're being forced into bad shots, but on the other side, they're taking bad shots.
You know, I wonder if that was one of the reasons for taking Howard out. Like, defensively, I don't know if he's like the best. And perhaps a bit of a defensive liability. So everyone playing for LA, and they've been on a bit of a short rotation. Actually, everyone playing for LA has just been bringing it on the defensive end. Rondo again, now 6 for 6. That was the toughest shot of them all, but it still goes.
Yeah, spinning off the defender in the left-handed layup that time, but
Crowder just
very quick response by Crowder in transition, but
walks right into a 3 and hits that. Rajon Rondo with the big baseball pass down the lane, and Anthony is given baseline by Crowder, says thank you very much. I'll take my 2 points, and finishes nice and easily with an up and under move.
And then Crowder very quickly at the other end gets underneath Markieff Morris. Up and down at the moment.
Crowder's got the last 5 points for Miami, but they can't get a stop on the defensive end to cut into this lead, which is still 14. Rondo up to Caldwell Pope, and Pope finds his way into the paint, puts Crowder on the floor, and that will be called an offensive foul. We've seen plenty of these sorts of offensive fouls where the ball handler who passes ends up getting called, and then the play is basically over, right? But he no longer has the ball in his hand. He just ends up passing and then bowling the guy over.
Yeah, you pass the ball away, and then you're almost setting a block, NFL style, and getting rid of the defender. And they've been fairly consistent in getting those calls.
Yeah,
at least stoppage off the ball here.
Consistency-wise, refs have been doing a pretty good job of it there. Danny Green going to be called for a cheap foul here. Nobody in the bonus, so Miami will just initiate from the sideline. Miami finally with a stop, perhaps an opportunity to cut into this lead. Let's see if they can make it happen.
Is that Danny Green getting benched after committing the foul? If he'd only just come back on.
Well, I think he's got at least 2. definitely has at least 2 there. Unpopular opinion: Rondo's been more of a problem than James than this game than James last game. Everyone's asking, how do you take the ball out of James's hands? But now, how do you take the ball off Rondo? Well, that's just the problem, right? If the Lakers do emerge with a third option, then to complement James and Davis, now you have a significant issue as Davis blocks none and just sits him down. The block stays in bounds and goes right back to LA. As Caldwell Pope is going to put up a massively difficult shot, but hits it off the backboard. Are you kidding?
That's a tough shot. He's basically been hit off balance, puts up the two-hander.
That's not even a
high off
shot.
glass.
Derek, this is a prayer. This isn't like this isn't.
Yeah, this is instinct. He realizes he's been fouled. Put the shot in the air. See what happens.
Oh my! That is straight out of NBA 2K. Like, I can't believe it. And Caldwell Pope finishes the 3.
I mean, we talk about video game James, but yeah, that's a video game move.
17 points now is the margin. All of LA, all the LA players really contributing positively here, and it's a silly turnover by Nunn, who probably should have just gone straight to the rack. Davis gets called for being out of bounds with the ball, however, or no, they're actually going to call a foul.
No, they're going to call a foul for pushing him out. I think that's a matter of ball don't lie there, because I thought Nunn cleared out his defender at the perimeter.
Yeah.
And then immediately turns it over.
Caruso hit the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Adebayo called for the foul in transition.
Yeah, Globetrotter shot Kisto. Yeah, yes. It's just like the shot you make there, or you make it in horse, and you're like daring you to make something similar. Davis, actually, both teams now in the bonus. So Davis to the free throw line, who is perfect throughout the NBA Finals, 25 of 25 from the line. And if that's going to be the announcer's curse, no, it's not.
Davis into double figures, so he's got 11. 3 players for the Lakers with more than 10.
We've seen too much. Is this even a word? Tentativity? Too much being tentative by
tentativeness.
Tentativeness. Yeah, I guess chat will fix our grammar. As Davis hits the second one, we've seen a lot of that from Miami. We've seen Hero pass up shots right underneath the rim. We saw Nunn pass up shots right underneath the rim. Sometimes even, dare I say, maybe Butler has passed up shots right underneath the rim. And this is almost going to be dribbled off Nunn's foot, but stay with Miami.
That's a side effect of the LA defense there. Miami doesn't feel like any shots are easy, so they're constantly probing for the better shot and just not finding it.
Yeah, I hear chat saying, I know Bam's a better player, but he just hasn't shown it. I mean, ever since the neck injury there, great. This is a nice look underneath by Bam, and Jimmy Butler's going to have to go up and put that in, and it's going to be an and one. He got both Davis and LeBron on his hip and finishes with a strong move there. He'll go to the free throw line. Foul's going to be called on LeBron.
Yeah, he seemed a bit hesitant there, but the step away from the basket, just thought it's the fake there. The step away sort of gets Davis out of position, and then LeBron has to come in late.
This is so funny to me. Like, LeBron comes in late, as you said, pushes Jimmy out of the way while he's in midair, and then wonders why they're calling a foul on him. I mean, it's comical. Rebound to Caruso as Jimmy misses the free throw. Davis working on Bam. Davis going to go over the top. That shot's going to end up short, and Nunn's going to come down with the rebound. Numbers here for Miami. Momentum in transition, except cut off by LA, and now Miami's going to have to run a half-court set. Crowder for 3. That shot's going to be short. Misses the hands of Adebayo, and rebound is down to Rondo. Yeah, Gerardo Sanchez, we definitely have a few Heat fans hoping for a Game 7, which would be Tuesday. Of course, Game 7, at that point, it's basically anyone's, right? It's just one game, and anything can happen.
Yeah, it goes down to a coin flip if you go to a decider.
Yeah, LeBron and the Lakers definitely do not want Game 7. And this is going to be a Caruso foul. But yeah, we haven't really seen, I guess, ever since the injury, Bam, he hasn't looked as dominant as he looked in the Celtics game. Of course, a little hard to do when your opposing number is AD.
Yeah, you're up against AD. You're up against a strong traditional post player in Dwight Howard. That's not an easy thing to have to come back to and try and play against those guys.
I mean,
it just hasn't been the same.
He's been working on both ends of the floor. I mean, he's working defensively against AD, then he has to Work on offense. Now he misses a free throw. Derek, free throw shooting contagious. And right now, the Miami Heat can't hit one.
You wonder if that's a confidence factor at this stage. You know, bad shooting begets bad shooting. 5 for 11. It was 5 for 9 a moment ago.
And Adebayo misses the second one, too. Boy, Miami 5 of 12 right now. Even if they hit, another 5 and make it 10 of 12, lead a bit more respectable. Right now, LA threatening to blow this thing out to 20 points. And Anthony Davis is going to be held by Crowder, and Crowder will be called for a foul.
It's his third.
Yeah. So the chat was asking who from the Heat is in foul trouble. Well, they weren't any in foul trouble a little while ago, but right now it is Crowder with 3.
Yeah, Crowder 3, Adebayo 2, but that's about it. There's a few Lakers players on 2, Davis, James, Green, and Morris, but nobody else with more than 1.
Anthony Davis with 12 points and still perfect from the free throw line, 27 of 27 in the finals series so far, and make that 28. What a luxury to have a big man that can shoot free throws. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, a few Lakers fans with long memories will remember the Shaquille O'Neal years. So
yes, exactly. But you have a big man who's not afraid to go down low, to get fouled, step up to the free throw line, and get his points there. I mean, these big men need to and he finally missed! Wow! 29 of 30. Right? Oh, 28 of 29? 28 of 29? My goodness.
But even then, the Lakers get the offensive rebound here. Caruso boxing out.
Will retain possession, and Anthony Davis is just going to grab it from down low and slam it home. So in the end, it turns out for more points for Davis and the Lakers.
And he'll get another free throw.
And he'll get another free throw because it's an and 1.
Yeah, Davis just works his way into the no-charge zone here. Baseline bounce pass. He's right under the basket. Just go up, two-handed flush.
He's on Iguodala. Iguodala doesn't have a shot. So he's basically going to have a 4-point possession opportunity. And he missed again! 28 for 30. Incredible.
Does that count as cheeseburgers?
Yes, because technically we'd be in Miami, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Cheeseburgers for everyone in chat. Caldwell Pope dives in, can't hit the layup. Caldwell Pope with the rebound, however, and then he finishes everything going the LA Lakers' way right now as they've opened up a 22-point lead. We'll get to the cheeseburgers in a second. It's an NBL joke. And right now, the Lakers have opened up a 22-point lead on Miami as Nunn's 3 is no good. And there are 2 minutes left to go here in the second. Caruso down in low, and Caruso, the streaking Caruso, gets 2 more.
That's a great bounce pass from LeBron James, finding him on the hard cut.
Everything working for LA. Timeout again, Miami. LeBron with 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists so far.
One of the things we did talk about during the NBL season, you called it turnovers for touchdowns.
Yeah.
You get out quick in transition. The Lakers have been doing that consistently this quarter, not just on turnovers, but on misses. Anytime they get the ball back in live play, they're immediately looking. Rondo was throwing the sort of 3-quarter court pass and finding Davis. They've done that multiple times. They did it just there. LeBron almost from half court, bounce pass to Rondo through traffic. They are looking to ram the ball down Miami's throat at every opportunity.
And it's resulted in a 24-point lead at the moment. Unfortunately for the Miami fans in chat, this is not looking good. But there is still another half of basketball to be played. Miami was down similar margin. Was it game 2? And then they made it about a 10-point game, and they just couldn't quite finish that out.
Yeah, they were down big in game 2. And at that point, I think we were looking at, because that's where Adebayo got hurt. That's where Dragic got hurt. And I think we were looking at, this is going to be a very short series. And then Butler has physically dragged this team to a game 6. But 14 fast break points now. Interestingly, again, the points off turnovers thing, still only 5 for LA. So I wonder about the definition there. But 14 fast break points for the Lakers, 8 turnovers for Miami. Far too many.
Butler with only 8 points so far tonight. There is no Miami player in double figure at the moment, as Miami has come out of the timeout, and now Duncan Robinson going down the lane with the right hand. Can't get that to go off the backboard. Usually a decently good look by all accounts, but Robinson is no good. As here, Rondo keying in the LA offense. Screen by Davis is rejected, and then Caldwell Pope for three. And Caldwell Pope, when it rains, it pours. And now that is a three-point shot by Caldwell Pope here, as the Lakers are threatening to make this 30. And here's a steal by James. James going to go head of steam against Butler, and Butler gets stripped. Actually, good defense by Butler, but LA will retain possession.
A little bit lucky there that the referee was behind the play. You could have easily called that a reach on Butler, but still good defense to get in front and stop that transition. But again, the pass on that previous play, we're getting a replay of one of the drives there by Robinson, but none just passed it straight to LeBron.
Caldwell Pope again
cornered three.
From the three. I mean, they just can't miss. LA was missing from three earlier. They were hitting everything else, and now with this one, here's a block by Davis, and Rondo is going out on the other end. It's a run out. Caldwell Pope now in the right-hand corner, and Pope. Oh, finally, LA comes down with a miss. Rebound down to Miami. Ooh. Yeah, this
almost
one
pushes that to 30 on that play.
Well, it is 30 now, 64-34. Nice pass by Adebayo to Nunn. Nunn cutting into the paint. Gets the finish there. First bucket for Miami in I don't know how long. It feels like an eternity right now.
Now that's the thing. I'll see if I can bring up the worm for halftime.
Rondo, 2 seconds on the game clock here. Davis, 2 seconds, and that shot is gonna miss. Thankfully, if you're a Miami fan. 64-36, we've reached the halftime. Wow, second largest halftime lead in finals history. Here with the 28. And if you had to ask me, my guess is that the team that was leading that game also won it. Derek, you had brought up earlier James's stats in closeout games. What, 17 of 18? Something like that?
He was... For his career, he's like 38-10. Now 38-11 now after game 5 in closeout games where he got a chance to win the series. LeBron is an 80% finisher, and it was 17 of his last 18 coming into last game. I don't even know what day it is. So LeBron's decided he's not going to give up 2 opportunities here to finish the series, and he's not the leading scorer on the team, but he's doing other things. Like LeBron's got 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 for 8. It's not like he's bricking shots. So he's 11, 9, and 6 at the half, and he's plus 26. So he's not playing badly. He just hasn't been the focus. Caldwell Pope with 15 is joint leading scorer along with Anthony Davis. You've got Rondo coming off the bench, 13 points, 14 minutes, 6 of 6. So they're getting those contributions. You've got 4 players in double figures at the half. Not great stats from everyone else, but when you're up 28, you don't complain too much on that front.
This game looks to me a lot like game 1, where there were just so many contributions off of the Miami bench that everybody was getting involved here. I'm trying to pull up the stats from this. My browser's a tad frozen at the moment. From game 1, it's 116-98 win by the Lakers, and I'm pretty sure it was this one. Caldwell Pope had 13 in that one. Danny Green had 11. Well, Davis had 34 and James had 25. Maybe it wasn't then. Maybe I'm just crazy. Could be.
But yeah, just looking at, it's not so much a worm as it is a hill. The graph is all Lakers. Lakers have not trailed in this game. not even at 2-0, they scored the first basket.
That's right. That's right. And it was kind of even, but actually it's more like game 2. Davis with 32, James with 33, Caldwell Pope had 11, Kuzma had 11, and Rondo in that game had 16. He was 5 of 9 from the field. Right now he's
I don't know
showing
how
his
well
6
that's
of
going to show.
6.
That's the worm.
What's the
It's just all LA.
Oh, all LA.
Just that hill keeps building.
Yeah, I mean, how can the Heat overcome this? It has they can't even hit open threes. I mean, yeah, the Heat. I don't know. Like, it's a team that has never given. I don't expect them to roll over here. Although this kind of looks like a rollover, to be honest. I still expect them to come out and play. My guess is the final score is going to be much closer than the score indicates now. So I don't expect this to be like a 40 or 50 point blowout. But right now it's a 28-point blowout.
The issue is just, I mean, we've talked about it all day. They just haven't been able to get anything clear. LA's defense is everywhere. Passes are being deflected. Shots are being challenged. Miami has nothing easy. Everything is a grind. And at the other end, LA is very quickly getting out and running. And just, yeah, they've just turned up. I talked about it a few times in previous games and indeed in the previous series. I'd felt that LA had one more gear.
Yeah.
There was always that chance that they could move up.
Great point.
They had something in the tank. And right now you've got to ask the question, does Miami have anything left in the tank? Because you saw, I mean, the shot that did the rounds of Butler just haunched over the advertising boards at the end of game 5, just drained. And that's not to, I don't want to talk badly about Butler. He's done everything he possibly could. He's been superhuman in this series. It just hasn't been enough. They've just been that little bit undermanned coming in. If you're a gambling type, by the way, in chat, and I don't recommend this, there's the Australian bookies are offering 67-1 against a Miami comeback.
67 to just flat out win it.
Yeah, just any win, any margin.
Okay. So what that means is basically for every $1 you bet, you would get 67 back. So
yeah.
There you go. You would, yeah.
And for Miami to beat the spread, they've got to get within 23.
I would take that one. So
but that'll only pay you. That only pays $1.80.
One thing for sure, Paul Pierce happy now, or ESPN. At least. I wonder what Jeff Bezos, why would you, because they've been wanting LA to win, or did Paul Pierce call LA in 6 and as a result his
the conspiracy theory is that after the Kobe loss they wanted a Laker win as a sort of fairy tale finish.
Yes. Fair. Yeah. I mean, that would be nice, right? As for like a media standpoint, though, they could make that into quite a story.
Yeah, I mean, it turns, but I don't think that's any worse a narrative than, it makes for a good story. But similarly, a good story is Jimmy Butler physically dragging this team.
Yeah, the underdog story of Miami Heat upsetting like the David Goliath kind of thing, which would be pretty good.
Yeah, but I think the Kobe Memorial is the media narrative that they're going for. And if you're a bit of a conspiracy theorist, you're arguing that that's what they were lining up for.
Yeah.
Mark in chat, I don't see the Lakers as a higher gear, but just a different strategy. And when it works, it seems amazing. And yeah, just right now, everything for the Lakers is working. Even the stuff that isn't working is working.
Well, even the 3-ball, right? Like, which is still down at like 31.3%, but 5 of 17 from 3.
But yeah, even the stuff that isn't working, like Caruso goes up for a bad layup, gets his own rebound. The offensive rebound, I mean, it's not a huge difference at 7-4, but they've only committed 5 turnovers, not shooting fantastically from deep, but again, 21 for 31 inside the paint. Points in the paint, by the way, 34-16, a plus 18 advantage for LA. Just, yeah, every little thing is going the Lakers' way, to the extent where, you don't even need 50-50 balls. Everything else is going the right way for LA.
Few minutes left here on the halftime. Let's catch people up on some of the other sports happening today. The NFL, week 5 here. Surprising results in a few areas. Notable here, Miami going all the way out to San Francisco. Injury-ridden San Francisco, unfortunately for them. And actually winning 43-17. That is quite a result. I did not expect that one. Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield gets it done against Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts, 32-23. And the other surprising result of the day, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City no longer undefeated. Trying to go 5-0 today against the Las Vegas Raiders, but John Gruden and company get it done. There, that win, 40-32. Was a late charge there, attempted comeback by KC that came up just short. And then down at Jerry World in Dallas, the Cowboys managed to hang on against the rival NFC East Giants and squeeze out a win there, 37-34, which I think...
I was going to say the story in that Dallas game is the Dak Prescott injury, though. That was brutal.
Enlighten.
Dislocated ankle, suspected fracture.
In that case,
in that game, yeah. Basically, the first thing I woke up to on Twitter this morning was, here's 27 different video clips of the Dak Prescott injury, and yeah, it looked nasty.
Wow. Yeah, that's unfortunate there. So questions for Dallas going forward. I actually did not manage to see the end of that game. I was only there for before halftime, so that must have happened there in the second half. Yeah, you never like to see a player go down. Like Dak is, especially with someone as important as Dak there.
Yeah, it wasn't like Paul George in the Paul George broken leg, or the Gordon Hayward injury nasty, but it's still, ankles aren't meant to turn that way. It's pretty ugly.
Oof. In any case, Dallas now currently leading the division with 2 wins. They're in the NFC East, currently playing Minnesota and Seattle. The game is in Seattle, and I can tell you by first-hand account that it is quite a rainy mess at the moment, which would probably be the reason why the score is 7-0, as we have had rain all day here in Seattle, and it is still raining and coming down decently hard. So
raining in Seattle?
Yeah. But like actually raining. There's like the mist that like comes from time to time. And by the way, like the whole like rain in Seattle thing is like a huge it's like this huge meme, okay? Because like yes, there's a lot. You get these days of like cloudiness and like we're all depressed here because like we don't see the sun. But like the 3 and 4 months in the summer are just gorgeous. And there's like no rain at all, which is then why we have forest fires. So that
I've only been there during summer. I haven't been there during.
Yeah. If you're gonna come visit Seattle, come in June, July, or August, and parts of September. That's when you want to show up. That's the.
Yeah, August has been. I've been there for PAX West a few times, so a few Augusts. Brand
new convention center, by the way. They're about to finish the construction on the new convention centers. Hopefully, we can all go out into the world again and see each other. That's where PAX is. How many games will the NFL schedule be this year? The NFL, well, there's another storyline to that. Is currently the NFL has had to change schedules for 8 teams going forward because of a lot of the COVID-related reschedulings. So definitely there a significant impact on the NFL scheduling. And granted, remember they called off the game this week that was supposed to be Patriots. Patriots and who were they supposed to play?
Tennessee, I think, has had a lot of the. I think it's Tennessee's where it started, and then that's sort of had a domino effect on the rest of the schedule.
Right, but Tennessee, Buffalo has been moved to Tuesday, which is a weird day to play football. We've never really played football on a Tuesday. And then the Patriots game gets moved to next week. Broncos, that was it. It was Patriots-Broncos. Broncos were going to travel to New England, and that game got postponed just today, actually. So that got moved. So definitely a bit of a schedule Tetris, I think.
There's a few leagues facing the same issue. The Euro League has had to cancel some games this weekend. There were a bunch of positive COVID-19 tests at Zenit St. Petersburg. So Euro League games are affected. And there was a player yanked from a French Premier League game 40 seconds in.
Wait, like he started playing and then they realized he was positive or something, and they
yeah,
yanked
he started.
him?
Yeah,
Oh
he started,
my.
and then the school bench official said, "Get him off the floor."
Oh man, that is scary. I mean, yeah, leagues have been doing what they can. We've been able to enjoy it. The NBA has done a pretty fantastic job here setting up its bubble. Of course, other leagues not really afforded the same ability to do something like the NBA can do. A bit more complicated when, in the NFL, teams are 100 people. The whole operation is 100 people between players and assistants and coaches and trainers and support
And yeah,
staff.
just the volume of equipment that has to travel around.
Yeah.
It makes it a bit more difficult for those other sports. We've done all right from an Australian perspective. We're in the final minute, by the way, on the halftime clock. The various football codes here, rugby league, Australian rules football, have done all right. They've just kept players isolated when they're not playing, and they've sort of played out of hub cities, much like the NHL's arrangement. And other than the occasional players, leaving their hubs to go and get drunk and have kebabs at 3 a.m, it's mostly worked out fine.
That was an actual thing.
That was an actual thing.
Yes,
two guys broke quarantine to go to a strip club and then got in a fight outside a kebab shop at 4 a.m.
What league was this?
The AFL, Australian Rules Football.
Australian Rules Football. There you have it, ladies and
gentlemen.
And
they got suspended the rest of the season for jeopardizing the schedule.
Oh my goodness. We haven't had anything that crazy happen here, but apparently that's how they do it in Australia. So you're going to go big, go big or go home. Yeah. So
well,
and apparently they did both, actually. They both went big and went home and were sent home.
But if you're going to do that, at least get a kebab.
Yes. He's got to eat. LA Lakers, 24 minutes away from an NBA title here in the bubble. Would be LeBron James's fourth, Anthony Davis's fifth. LeBron James. Yes, I was right the first time. It would be his fourth. We've been over this. It would be his fourth. Anthony Davis's first, and Quinn Cook's second, I believe. Duke, yes, Duke player would be able to win a title there.
Yeah, more than one for Danny Green as well, because I think he was on that
Spurs team.
Yeah, that Spurs team.
Yeah. Couple of the Lakers defense highlights, Miami offense lowlights from the first half. Anthony Davis just locked in here.
I think he only had credit for 2 blocks at this stage, but he's changed a lot of shots. Defensively, he's been fantastic. 15-5.
Yeah. Go ahead. Finish that.
Yeah, 15-5 and 2 blocks. Jimmy Butler 8-5 and 5.
So not on pace for the 40-point triple-double, which is basically where they would need him to be.
Yeah, I think they're going to need a replay of Game 3 here if they're going to make a game of this.
And then some. Tyler Hero back in. Starting lineup actually for the second half, actually the same for both teams as it was in the first, as we are now back underway. As we mentioned, 24 minutes for LA to seal the deal here in Game 6, as that rebound forces Danny Green to hit the deck, and LA comes up with the rebound, and they are off to the races. And that is a kicked ball here by Crowder.
Yeah, Crowder just trying to break up the bounce pass to LeBron on the baseline. Eric Spoelstra with the death glare from the sidelines.
Really never changes his facial expression. Very consistent in that manner, actually. Yeah. Caruso to Pope. Caruso as LeBron dives in, but this is actually going to be a 3-point shot by Davis, one of the rare shots that LA has missed so far. Butler calling for a screen to Adebayo, who just collects the ball there. Handoff is to Hero. Hero being guarded by Caldwell Pope. Hero diving in is going to take a tough runner. It was halfway down after hitting the backboard and just spins out. I mean, that's kind of that's the game in a nutshell.
Yeah, everything is just that little bit harder.
Miami just not getting the shots to fall, and here's Caldwell Pope in and out. Man, I thought that was going to go in too, with the way that the ball has been rolling for LA. Does not. Butler diving in on Danny Green, and Crowder back out to Hero. Hero thinking about three, gets semi-caught up in the air, but turns the ball over. Caruso there with the interception, and James going to drive in on Robinson, and James is just too strong, even though Robinson was straight up.
Yeah, bully ball there from James. I think at the other end, Hero sort of got into the air and then sort of changed his mind. I think he was sort of half thinking pass shoot and ended up doing neither.
That is kind of what it looked like, right?
Yeah, never pass in. We tell our under 12s, never pass in the air.
Never pass in the air. LeBron James misses that free throw, so 30 points is the lead. Robinson back to Adebayo. Adebayo has a clean lane, but it's deflected from behind by Davis, who gets called for a foul. Ooh, I thought that might have been a clean block.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky there. Third on Davis.
James is like the unstoppable force right now. They are, however, remaining optimistic by doing the Tuesday promo for Game 7. If you took the 67-1 bet, you are hoping for be able to see that Tuesday game there.
Otherwise, it'll just be Cheers reruns all night on ABC.
There you go. Adebayo misses his first free throw. Only 5 points. 2 of 5, 3 rebounds, 4 rebounds, 3 assists.
It was a running joke on Australian television for a bit. Whenever the cricket got rained out, you just get Cheers reruns.
So you guys can't play in the rain?
Cricket can't play in the rain. No, it's too dangerous.
Really? Huh. Interesting. James now being guarded by Robinson, who decided not to take him one-on-one. Caruso going in and misses the shot. Bam down with the rebound. Hero into the paint. It's going to put up a runner, and that runner is just way short. It doesn't even hit the rim. Ooh, the tentativeness again. I think in the last series, we would have seen Hero drive that all the way to the rim.
Yeah, that's got to be... I mean, I was about to say that's got to be mental, but it may just be that there's no fuel in the legs at this point.
Hero on Davis as he cuts in. Danny Green's going to go for 3 with 2 seconds on the shot clock left, and Danny Green is going to hit from 3.
He's multiple threes now in a game LA is dominating, so it'll undo the memory of Game 5.
Jay Crowder with a really tough fadeaway jump shot from the baseline as Bam hustling there to try to get the rebound, but can't. It's going to go right back to LA.
And we get a replay of the air ball from Hero. Just a running floater in the lane and just missed everything.
Bam should close this one by missing an open dunk, just like, yeah, the shot's just really not going here for for Miami, rather. It's been quite unfortunate. Caruso on the pass from James. Caruso back out to Danny Green. Danny Green going to try to go again. The shot's good, but it was an offensive foul. As once again, Robinson sacrificing the body. Caruso going to get called for that one. I got to say.
The sort of clearing out the defender after the drive and dish.
Credit to Robinson, man, because he has just been getting in front of James. He's getting in front of AD. It doesn't matter. He has been, and this is out of bounds here. Jimmy Butler just loses the ball on the baseline. I think a little bit of, now even Jimmy Butler's making mistakes.
Yeah, good D by Green to deny him any space.
12th turnover for Miami. Davis was cutting, but James decided to go outside to Danny Green instead. Rebound down to Bam and the Miami Heat. Miami still haven't managed to crack 40. And there's Bam just confusing the LA defense just a little bit.
I think confused the cameraman as well there for a moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, they thought he was going to dish it off, and then he just splits the defenders. Nobody home.
Caldwell Pope going baseline, hands it back to Davis. And Davis puts up a wild shot, but that shot is no good. And everybody's slipping now. Davis says he slipped in a wet spot. Robinson went down. Bam went down. Miami will have the ball. A little stoppage of play here for the Moppets. Right?
The Moppets.
The Moppets to come in and clean this one up.
Should be Miami ball, though. I think they're going to call a loose ball foul on Davis here.
Can we break the record for the lowest field goal percentage? I don't. That's probably right. There was one quarter in the Celtics series where Miami scored 14 points in that quarter?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So at least you have more than that. Downhill is LeBron and down with the bucket. Easy finish with the left hand. I mean, he just accelerated and went. There's nobody getting in front of him there. Jimmy Butler can't get that shot to go. Maybe you're right with the legs. The shot just looks kind of off. Jimmy Butler was hitting those all night long on Friday. LeBron now with the 15, 10, and 6 stat line. Robinson. LeBron gives it back out to Caruso, and Robinson down with the rebound.
I thought there might have been a whistle off the ball there as well, but we're just going to play on.
And the ball is deflected out of bounds by Caldwell Pope. Miami with a side out of bounds here. No, I think the Miami shooting percentage, granted, they're not really getting that many shots anymore. 32.6%. Wow.
We got a replay of that LeBron layup a moment ago, just returning the favor from Caruso earlier in the game. Hard drive to the basket, gets the pass.
Bam with a mid-range jump shot from the free throw line. Gets it to go. Miami needs stops, though. If they're even going to have a shot at coming down from 30, they need stops. And here's Rondo from 3. That shot misses, so here's an opportunity. Bam. Working in on Davis. Bam. Tough shot and one. Davis picks up another foul here.
That's going to be 4 on. Yeah, I think it's 4 on Davis.
Has a Laker ever accepted that a foul was justified? No, because Davis and LeBron seem to complain about every call, even the ones that seem to go in their favor.
I mean, LeBron's never committed a foul. Just ask him.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
But yeah, 4 fouls for Davis now. Nobody else on more than Crowder has 3, but then nobody else is on more than 2 at this point. So foul trouble not really a factor either way. 16-11, the foul count, by the way. LA on the wrong end of that count.
But even on the free throw side of things, right? Look, you see Miami is 6 of 14. Maybe they have an all-time low for free throw shooting right now at 43%. Actually,
certainly the number of attempts is much lower.
Yeah, LA 5 of 17. They're averaging in the 20s for free throws in this finals. And Miami just not capitalizing.
Yeah, Kisto in the chat. I never understood why complaining about a foul. One of the things my dad would say when I was sort of starting out was, you will never win an argument with a referee. They're not going to change the call. The best you can do is influence the next call, but you will not win that argument. And, even in the NBA, I mean, even with video replay now and the ability to look at stuff, I would suggest a lot, a few things get tweaked and you'll get a few things that get upgraded. But unless it's really obvious, they're not going to overturn it.
Yeah.
And then I'm also a bit sympathetic to the referees because I've done that job too. And yeah, I have a bit of sympathy for how difficult that is, even at low levels. I've never refereed at anything like this kind of pace.
So even at low levels, do you get players complaining to you?
Oh, look, refereeing like under 12s is a problem. There's like tantrums and swearing and crying. But once you deal with, once you deal with the parents, the kids are fine.
Oh, it's the parents. Yeah. That's probably the worst. They're in the stands, right?
The kids don't question it as long as you give them a structure. They're
Mm.
fine, but the parents. My kid is the next Kobe.
Yes, Jeff Bezos. The Heat have put up 7 points in this game. The problem for them is that so have the Lakers, by the way. They have also put up 7 points, so the lead hasn't really done anything. Uh, the parents locked in a cage to keep them away.
I would believe that. I've seen more than a few escorted from the building.
Mm. I have never. And so the fans at Duke were pretty bad. Were pretty bad, especially to refs. Um, I've never gotten tossed from a game. Uh, Maybe
But I think
close, but no,
there's a
never
difference
actually.
between riding the refs and trying to influence calls and just being outright abusive.
Yeah,
And that's also sometimes a hard thing to get that balance as well. Like as a referee in the NBA, theoretically, um, if I was doing a game on the weekend, there's a bunch of cases in some of these games where I would have been teeing up players left, right, and center for doing stuff.
yeah.
In the NBA, you don't want to do that. You want to keep the stars on the floor, but then you also have to keep the balance that, hey, this is, these are the rules. You can't do that.
Well, yeah, you can also in the NBA players can also get fined
Yeah.
for their treatment of refs. But I will say, Duke's coach Krzyzewski is quite good at influencing refs. That is definitely one of his specialties he's built up over the 30 plus seasons at Duke. We'll get there once we get to our college ball, but right now it's Miami in a 2-3 zone at the moment, and there's going to be a foul here on the floor. That foul is going to be on Jimmy Butler.
LeBron just on the gym ball, staying loose on the sideline. It looks like he's going to come back in a moment.
And Danny Green with a high shot off the glass. Beautifully done by Danny Green.
Yeah, Green signaling count it, and the ref's like, yeah.
Well, he wanted the and one. That was his signal there. Dragic driving on Green. Adebayo cut off by Davis, and Adebayo regathers one dribble, can't finish. And that was a silly turnover. I think Rondo just dribbled it off of Davis's foot.
Or the other way around. Either way, it's not pretty. It's
yeah.
Sort of Shackton material. LeBron instantly comes back in. Kyle Kuzma also back in for the Lakers.
Dragic inside, pass to Butler. Quick there, pass to Adebayo, and Adebayo will finish with a little finger roll and a kind rim. Rims being quite unkind throughout the entirety of the evening, but Miami gets that one to roll.
6 assists for Butler.
Pass up to Rondo, to Caldwell Pope, and over to James. Dragic, pass inside down to Caldwell Pope, can't finish, but the vacuum cleaner there, Davis, with the rebound and the putback, but there's a foul.
No, they're calling the goaltend on Adebayo,
goaltend.
So the Caldwell Pope first shot will count.
Okay, so 2 points there for the Lakers, but the Davis will not get the credit for them.
No, KCP does an LBJ with the assist.
Yep. I sort of wonder if I don't think putting Dragic back into the game really is the reason why Miami is suddenly down by 30. But you do have to wonder, there are like times when you try to like bring a player back in where it might disrupt the rhythm of the team a little bit. Dragic here for 3. That shot is off.
Yeah, the old, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And another long outlet pass here by James.
And Kuzma there with a follow-up as Davis's shot went awry. That's the Genie Bus there, applauding happily. Crowder, jab step on Kuzma. Gets some distance and separation, but he can't hit the 3. That shot is off. These aren't bad shots, Derek.
No, they're just not going. And I think that may now be, reflecting that there's just no fuel in the tank.
The cliche is that this is a make or miss league, and right now Miami's missing everything. LeBron James with the step back jumper. That shot is good. And we have a timeout, I think, by Miami.
Yep.
Timeout.
4:10 remaining in the third.
Miami down to 2 timeouts, so I can't tell if that's they have now 2 or they are down to 1.
I've got them as 1 on the stat feed here.
All right, so they're down to 1, which they're going to have to save for the 4th because that's going to be a forced timeout, right?
Yeah, and I think they might get one back with a successful coach's challenge, but that would be it.
Yeah. Oof.
LeBron up to 17, 11, and 7.
LeBron going
8 of 11
for another triple-double here.
I mean, at this point, you're almost thinking you get him his 3 assists, and then you're not quite at run the bench territory, but
no. I think you're gonna leave Davis and LeBron. This is the victory lap at this point. You don't take them off, not in the final game. I don't know if I would. Why? Just to get the bench player, maybe like in the final 2 minutes or something. But I would think you'd want them on the court when the buzzer hits 0-0.
Or you reward the bench guys for, because that's one of those things with the bench. They're the ones who show up at training every day. They're the ones who get clowned on by LeBron and AD in training 5 times a week. So give them the reward by giving them court time.
No, I agree with that. I think the bench will come in at some point.
But yeah, it says a lot about how this game is going that we're talking about clearing the bench with 4:10 left in the third. It's just all gone wrong for Miami.
Yeah, maybe I think they're drained from the last game. Remember, it's taken 2 superhuman efforts from Jimmy Butler in Game 3 and in Game 5. And I'm trying to think back if Game 3, because we did Game 1, right? That was a Wednesday. And then they went Friday, Sunday? They went Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and then didn't play again until Thursday?
Yeah, they had an extended break there because they didn't want to clash with Monday Night Football.
Right. Oh, they didn't play again until Tuesday, right? So Game 3 that they won with Butler was played on Sunday and then Tuesday. So there was short rest there, and then they ended up losing Game 4. And then they had a longer break after Game 4 before Game 5. They went Tuesday to Friday in that particular scenario. And so that's kind of the longer break there. A full Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of recovery before they had to play that evening. And so they basically, Jimmy just, they were fresh, they brought everything out. But now with a quick sort of turnaround here.
Yeah, Miopera in chat, Game 5 was pure luck despite Jimmy's effort. They got lucky on one play, but they put themselves in a position where, one lucky play is enough to get the win.
Yeah.
The captain of my old pro team here used to say that the harder I work, the luckier I get. And, they put themselves in a position where you can make one good play and win the game.
Yep.
But I mean, the shot, we talked about it earlier, the shot of Jimmy Butler just haunched over the ad hoardings after the last game, just exhausted. And
because he did it on the defensive end too. He had a big block there towards the end of the game.
Oh yeah, he wasn't just scoring; he was, passing, rebounding. He did everything. And yeah, these series are about endurance. It's about you can't just have one good game. That's why they play best of 7.
Yeah, and it looks like your Townsville coach was riffing off Bobby Jones there.
Might well be.
Dragic,
he did play college in the States, so he might have been inspired by that.
Yeah. Oh, Dragic just passed to Crowder. Crowder can't corral that pass, and that pass is out of bounds, so it's a turnover by Miami.
I think it's a bit unlucky for Dragic to get credited with the turnover there.
Oh, yeah, this is like when the wide receiver can't bring in the pass and it gets intercepted, but it's still a quarterback interception, even though it was clearly on the receiver.
I've always thought if you get 2 hands on the ball and still lose it, it's your turnover, not the passer. But
Jimmy Butler trying to poke the ball away from LeBron in this case, and Rondo from the top of the key is going to go for 3. And Rondo is going to hit 3.
He's been the story of this game, 16 now for Rajon Rondo on 7 of 8.
Ties his playoff series high. But yeah, on 7 of 8, just sensational shooting as Crowder puts in an easy 2. I mean, this thing's about to be a 40-point lead.
And that's 7 assists now for Butler on the Crowder play.
Pass by Rondo is intercepted by the Heat. Tried to get it there to cut in Kuzma. Miami had it sniffed out. Crowder to Kuzma. Crowder puts it up. Tough shot. Gonna get fouled and go to the free throw line. Not many free throw shots this quarter, actually. Rather free flowing for both teams.
No, the only stoppages have been Eric Spoelstra trying to
Call the momentum.
sort out strategy. Yeah. Still not a high fouling game. 17-12 is the foul count for the game so far. Lakers on the wrong end of that, but it's not much different from where we were at halftime.
Rondo definitely has the playoff experience. He's got the playoff experience with the Celtics, winning titles there. And is that I just saw an Olynyk graphic there in the virtual fan section. Or is he in? Why would they show a graphic of him if he weren't like now playing? He is in. Olynyk is in the game. Yep. Yo, Sex is the Vampire. What is up? Good evening or good morning, either to you. I missed my alarm clock to watch the game. Oh boy, it has been all Lakers here in Game 6, closing in on their NBA title. LeBron, jab step on Crowder. LeBron for 3. LeBron misses.
The story Sextus is just stifling defense.
Yeah. Dragic there with the left hand. Dragic in the soft roll. Yes.
Tyler Hero looking on there. And fell off the ball. It's on Crowder. That's his 4th.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. I mean, I agree with you there. Like the Heat have played an exceptional finals. I mean, even to push this thing to Game 6, it's commendable. I mean, the way they play, even in the Boston series, right? They played from behind the majority of the Boston series. I don't think there's any shame in losing this in particular. As LeBron James throws it down, and he's going to go for an and one. Probably the best dunk of the night for James on that one.
Foul on Duncan Robinson there, but yeah, LeBron hasn't needed to sort of go full bully ball in this game so far, but that was a strong drive.
Finally, all the pieces coming together for the Lakers in this game. LeBron's out to 19 points. Davis has 15. Caldwell Pope, the bench has finally stepped up. Caldwell Pope has 17. Rondo has 16. And the defense has been the story of the game. Sextus, actually. The defense by LA, sensational.
And then LeBron robbed of the 3-point play because Kyle Kuzma stepped into the lane.
Oh, so the free throw is no good?
Yeah, free throw's no good. Lane violation.
Oh, there you go. That's why he doesn't have 20. Finger roll there by Jimmy Butler is good.
And see, that now puts Butler into double figures.
Yes, Exodus. See, at least we were expecting Dragic to be out for several weeks. Maybe it wasn't the tear wasn't as bad as we were led to believe, or they were keeping it close to the vest. The severity of the injury, at least close to the best. LeBron, tough 3-point shot, well contested by Butler, and he comes up missing it. Miami comes up with the rebound, and Olynyk going to give it to Dragic. Dragic to Robinson. Robinson going to shoot and spot up and take 3. And yes, Robinson 3 from the corner.
They still haven't made any serious inroads. Actually, Lakers have still outscored Miami this quarter.
Yeah, the lead is extended from 28, and it was 30 about a second ago here, as Rondo's going to try to make it 30 again, and Rondo switches that one. Finals high 19 points for Rondo after that 3-point shot. Rondo has just played beautifully today.
And 9 assists for LBJ.
1 away from that playoff triple-double. Jimmy Butler to Dragic as Butler was going out of bounds, but Dragic gathers, collects, gets it to Butler as he hits the deck. Rondo Finals MVP. No, Derek, you're giving it to AD, actually.
Yeah, that's a hard capper on that one, Sextus. I like AD. I think he's been the most consistent player for the Lakers.
It would
LeBron
be
making a
such a
case for his
troll if
game,
it
but
was, though. Could you imagine? The
I mean,
media, like,
Rondo's played fantastically though today. Like they just showed the stat line: 19 points on 8 of 9.
how this is going to be LeBron's third triple double. I think three. He's definitely at least two. He had one no, last game wasn't a triple double. It was a 40-point
No, one
double
before
double.
was.
Last game 5 was? I thought he missed the assists.
Yeah, I think he missed last one, but I think game 4 was.
Game 4
And there was one,
was.
and then
Yes.
game 3, the shootout game.
Okay.
I think he had one there, despite Jimmy Butler having one in the same game.
So, yeah, that was Jimmy Butler's 40-point triple double. So even with
Yeah.
3 playoff triple doubles, you would not give him an MVP.
I've really liked Anthony Davis's play. Just there's a few. Caruso getting rejected there on.
Yeah,
the
that was a
drive
fabulous
by Adebayo.
rejection, actually. Caruso just too short, unfortunately, as Bam Adebayo discards him.
Yeah,
8
that was a
seconds
good enough
left.
block to interrupt my terrible takes. I just like what Anthony Davis has done defensively. He's been a consistent scorer. They've never had an answer for him at any point. As Olynyk misses the 3-pointer to end the third, we are at 3-quarter time. I just like AD. I think he's played really well in this series, and I don't think LeBron would lose too much sleep at not getting Finals MVP if he gets the ring here.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you there. I think if AD got it, there was the article about a week or so now that they were saying that sort of the key to their success is the fact that there's no jealousy between the two of them. And I think I would agree with you there that LeBron would think that it's just, yeah, he would be happy to see AD win it, especially AD's first title.
Yeah, he full on. I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of this championship ring.
Yeah, yeah. This is kind of an experiment postseason for the Heat. Are you or two away for a year or two ahead of schedule? I mean, you definitely have some standout players that can contribute, and we've seen them contribute. None has been effective. Tyler Hero had his moments. Just lacks some of the consistency on the big stage here, and Butler's been carrying the weight from then on. Yeah.
But that's a good core to build with now. It's only Butler's first season at the Heat. You've got a good group to build around. Hero's only young. So, yeah, like you said, definitely ahead of schedule. But, they've come in, okay, 5th seed against Indiana is not a meaningful stat. They finished with the same win-loss record as the Pacers. Managed to overcome Milwaukee. That probably is a bit of an upset there. Overcame Boston as well.
Yep.
Put up 2 strong games against the Lakers here, even with injuries. So, yeah, you definitely, the future is, short-term future is very bright for Miami.
As far as the question, are the Yankees winning? The Yankees aren't, unless I missed something. I don't think the Yankees are playing right now. They actually lost to Tampa Bay yesterday, 2-1. So Tampa is actually up, actually tied with Houston. Currently bottom of the 5th there on that game. And the game here in Seattle is now 13-0 Minnesota. With 10 seconds left in the second quarter, so 10 seconds before halftime. And once again, a very sloppy, rainy Seattle. Seattle might be the second 4-0 team to fall if that scoreline sticks after Kansas City was dealt a loss by the John Gruden and the Las Vegas Raiders. So
I saw a fun headline the other day, actually. One of the news blogs I follow ran a headline saying John Gruden signs with Pittsburgh, but it's a Jonathan Gruden who signed with the Penguins. Totally different sport.
There you go. Yes, Sextus, thanks for hanging around. Thanks for participating in chat. Thanks for being, and thank you to all the viewers who have been with us throughout these NBA finals, both across Twitch and YouTube. Make sure to drop a follow on the Twitch side of things or a sub on the YouTube side of things. It's always, content's here is always free. And we're just glad to be enjoying and sharing this with you guys. Thank you so much for keeping it interesting with all the comments and the conversation in chat. Really helps us out, carry the conversation forward here. After this will be the end of the NBA season, presumably. In here after this final quarter, we will continue. Our schedule will continue with covering the Premier League for Liverpool. We'll also cover some international soccer, football, not soccer. We will then have our Thursday night football games when they happen, considering that I think this week's Thursday night football game is actually on a Sunday. But more to come on that. And for the latest schedules, you can always join our Discord. And yeah, and we are back here. 12 minutes stand between LeBron James and a championship here. And LeBron going to take the shot over Bam, and he's going to miss. Rebound down to Miami.
Any punters in the chat, they have closed the market on Miami winning by a margin.
So you can no longer take your 67-1?
You can no longer get your 67-1.
Yeah, LeBron James is going to get rings with 3 different organizations. It's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible, actually. Kuzma over in the corner to Morris. Morris takes a step inside the 3-point line, and he's going to wind up long. Rebound down to Dragic. It looks like they went into beast mode, Rolavi. Yes, they went into beast mode not just on the offensive side, but on the defensive side. Beautiful look there by Dragic to Adebayo. Where has that been all game? That's what we wonder. Was Caruso ejected? No. No, Caruso was not ejected. He actually started. He actually started the game.
Yeah, he actually started in place of Dwight Howard.
Danny Green's attempted pass winds up in the face of Tyler Hero, who has to gather himself here. Rolla V, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Much appreciated. Thank you to everyone who's been hanging out with us throughout these NBA playoffs. It's been an incredibly fun time to broadcast these, and we've had some sensational basketball to enjoy as well. As LeBron now working on Kelly, and Kelly's going to foul. Yeah.
A little bit of a cheap foul there. LeBron just sort of realized that Olynyk was reaching in a bit.
Jeff Bezos in the Twitch chat saying he embarrassed himself when he told a friend in his NBA chat that Houston has a new GM, but it was the Texans, not the Rockets. Yeah, I don't think... Yes, Bill O'Brien there being let go. He was both coach and GM. And Davis actually gets rejected by Bam. Wow, a little reversal there. And it's a shot clock violation. Beautifully done by Bam. Great to see there. Krusty Krab Pizza. Oh, man. I love it. Thank you so much for the sub on YouTube. And Molden Frazier as well. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Adebayo giving Davis a taste of his own medicine there.
Dragic around the screen. Dragic going to go in, and Dragic is going to come up short. And LeBron now has full head of steam. He's just going to take this one. Oh, no, he's actually going to pass to Rondo. And they're just going to start dribbling the air out of the ball. Rondo really closing things up here. Rondo. And Rondo is short. And Bam down there with the rebound.
That finger roll's the shot that's been going for Rondo here. Bam out of control there, but he will draw the blocking foul here. And Adebayo's down. Oh, a little bit shaken up.
Little bit. Ooh, Skylark saying, come on, Heat. That's going to be a little tough. Just a little bit tough.
Unless he's got a few dollars on the 67-1.
Yes, exactly. He might have the 67-1 bet.
Adebayo, the leading scorer for Miami, 19 and 8 so far in this game. Actually, the box score I have is a little bit ahead of the game. That was his 18th point on the free throw. So, spoilers, he makes the next one. Only 3 players in double figures, though, for Miami. Duncan Robinson has 9.
I misspelled your handle there for a second as I was putting the name titles down there. Yes, this is a bit of a blowout here, a bit of a coronation session as Danny Green hits that one, and that's another 3-pointer here, a 25-point affair if I did the math right there. as Jimmy Butler to Tyler Hero, and Hero's going to drive into the lane, and Hero will finally get his bucket.
Only his second field goal of the game.
Yes. LeBron
8 assists for
James.
Butler, though.
Who thinks Miami can win? As Derek, as you mentioned, it was 67-1 was the prop bet. So if you had a buck, you could have made 67. Does LeBron have the triple double yet?
He needs one more assist.
One more assist. Hero back to Bam, and Bam, nice little 2-point jumper there. Frank Vogel gonna call a timeout as we've had a little recent Miami surge. And Vogel
lead cut to 21.
Still adamant to coach here. A little bit of life, maybe, make things interesting. As I kind of said, I don't think that the score is going to end in the 30s. Even in the blowout, game 2 blowout, there was one of the earlier blowouts that it ended sort of by 10 points, even though it was like a 30-point game earlier.
Mark Hathaway in chat. Now they have no chance. The Heat are making shots. Yeah, comeback's on.
Yeah. Well, may as well give LeBron the ring after game 1. He had to earn it, that's for sure. Miami, he had to take it from Jimmy Butler, I would say. So, yeah. In any case,
Butler's been spectacular in the series, but it's just been all Lakers today. If you are coming in late, it's just been a matter of really stifling defense. The Lakers breaking up passes, challenging shots, immediately getting out on the break. They had a massive advantage on points in the paint earlier on. They're plus 16 in that category. Fast break points 16-2 in favor of the Lakers. Miami hasn't shot well. Most of the stats fairly, relatively even, other than the shooting percentage and that fast break points. But the Lakers forcing mistakes and then just ramming the ball down Miami's throat. And they've been, that first half was just stifling. 36-16 in the second quarter. That's where the Lakers built that lead. And it's just been, okay, Miami's had the better running in the last couple of minutes, but it's just been one-way traffic. And the Heat have never led this game.
Did we just start the game? Or are we playing up to 3 quarters?
Yeah, we're just trying to lull the Lakers into a false sense of security.
By the way, in Heat history, LBJ never played for... Wait, how does that work, Jeff Bezos? Like, he had the big 3 down there in Miami.
No, that's just what ESPN wants you to think.
Yeah. Again, thank you everybody for all the amazing support. Also, my broadcast partner here, Aussie Hoops Drek, put his Twitch channel right there into the YouTube chat, and I got the name finally to work underneath on the stream there. Finally, I was late on that, but you'll be broadcasting NBL games once that returns. I think that will be in the January timeframe.
January, and maybe the WNBL when that gets started here, although I've got some involvement with my local club, so that will depend on schedules. Yep. But on the Twitch side of things, once the NBL resumes, we are able to show game footage of those. We have in-arena vision and audio, so we'll have everything for those games.
Yep.
Ritz will also have a few of those games depending on times. I think it's more easy for him to get the New Zealand games rather than Australia, just because of the time difference.
Yeah, there's some ones that start at 10 p.m. on Friday nights, which are yes, they are at timeout. And yes, so we can show Australia games. The NBL, for those unfamiliar, is the National Basketball League of Australia. It's like the NBA, but in Australia. And in fact, some of our stars do end up playing in the NBL. LaMelo Ball into the draft this year played for the Illawarra Hawks, so we got to see a lot of ball. Both literally and figuratively, I suppose, from him while we were broadcasting last year. So definitely, and there is some high flying basketball down there. Just like Space Jam Cam from the Cairns team. Man, there were a lot of fun games to do there.
There's a rumor he may come back. The Israeli season doesn't overlap with ours, so there was discussion that the Taipans may get him back.
Anthony Davis, a easy 2-pointer here off the Danny Green miss. Won't Danny Green get 3 rings from different teams as well? Yes, he definitely has San Antonio. The Toronto one? I don't know about that. Wait, was he on Toronto last year?
Yeah, I think he was.
Oh, well then in that case, yes, he would. Um, good for him, I guess. Olynyk there, the spin move and the miss. Yeah, okay, he was with Kawhi. Huh. I missed that piece there. As Davis drives in and gets fouled. My memory not as good as it used to be. He did that awful turnover play.
Foul on Dragic there.
Yeah, yeah. So he will also have 3 rings there. Yep. Almost lost the game for the Raptors. Well, not as bad as J.R. Smith there in Cleveland, who did basically lose the game for Cleveland that one time in the playoffs. Is it true the trophy is getting to be given in a Louis Vuitton case? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that is true.
It travels in Larry travels in style.
Is Larry really the name of the trophy? The Larry O'Brien trophy?
It's the Larry O'Brien trophy. We just call it Larry.
We just call it Larry.
It's an Australian thing because Larry, like the William Webb Ellis Trophy is the Rugby World Cup, but we just call it Bill.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
It's kind of cringe. It's an Australian thing.
Well, I think he said that the Louis Vuitton case was kind of cringe. Which is I just think it's a little over the top, I guess, you know.
He can be saying I'm kind of cringe as well. That's fine.
Adebayo with a crafty there putback, but it won't go. Anthony Davis maybe has a little of a dead arm there as he brings down the rebound. Although I would have preferred them to go with a very American brand. They go with Louis Vuitton instead, I suppose. I don't know. I can't really think of a American equivalent at the moment, but
Samsonite.
Samsonite would have been isn't that German?
I have no idea.
Oh man. Oh, chat. Everybody be respectful in chat. Everybody be careful. We don't want to have to start throwing people out for fisticuffs here. The game has been very civil. Both teams have been. Last game was a bit of an altercation, but nothing this game actually. As there, Olynyk gets 2 more for Miami. It's a 23-point game at the moment. Yeah, no negativity, please. We're all enjoying the game here, or trying to make the most of it. Yeah.
Olynyk with the putback there. James somewhere along the line has got that 10th assist. So 19, 13, and 10 is LeBron's stat line.
And Caldwell Pope there with 17, actually. So as we mentioned, the Lakers role players stepping up big time. Because both Rondo and Pope in double figures. LeBron James denied, gets it outside to Kuzma, and shot clock violation.
I think the air has gone out of this game a little bit, still hovering around that 23-point margin.
0 turnovers, though. Big number there. That's a nice 0 to hit. If you wanted a 0 on your stat line, that's where you want it.
Yeah, 10 assists to 0 turnovers is a good ratio.
Yeah. 10 to infinity. Robinson coming across the Bam screen, and Bam going to go drive in, and Bam will get 2 there. Right-handed finish.
Yeah, I think the Lakers will be happy to trade 2s at this point.
Rondo going to give this to James, and James is going to put up a 3-point shot. James for 3.
Actually, the shots he was potting.
Yep.
In game 5, he was potting those shots just easily.
I was going to say, he's really been quiet from the 3-point line tonight. Just hasn't really needed it. He's been getting everything else. Tyler Hero there with an assist to Adebayo. Easy finish. Trading 3s for 2s for 3s and 3s for 2s at the moment.
Yeah, James with a quiet 22, 13, and 10 on 10 of 16.
Yeah.
It's not often you can say that a triple-double in the NBA Finals is quiet, but he hasn't really been the focus. He's been there.
Caldwell Pope can't get the 3 to go. Adebayo with the rebound. Lazy turnover to LeBron. Outlet pass to Anthony Davis, who tries to save it. And the only one there with an opportunity to actually keep it in bounds would have been a ref. And so that goes out of bounds.
Yeah, just a little bit overthrown. And there's the stat: 28 triple doubles in the NBA playoffs for LeBron. Only Magic has more with 30.
22
I mean,
points, 13
LeBron.
rebounds, 10 assists. Another magnificent performance here by LeBron. He 11 triple doubles. So that is his most all time. What was the
Most all
difference there?
time in the NBA Finals.
Ah,
28 in the playoffs.
okay, that was it in the playoffs. So he's got the most in the finals, but 28 in the playoffs. That's so almost
And
about just under half have come in a finals. That's really impressive.
and he's well ahead of third place because Jason Kidd only had 11.
Yeah. And thank you, Rolla 5 or Rolla V. Thank you for everyone just keep it civil. Whether I think you're a fan of either team, we've been treated to some sensational basketball, especially the games actually that Miami won, and the performances put on by Jimmy Butler have been spectacular. I mean, if Jimmy Butler wasn't a household name for NBL folks before, he certainly is now. Um, because his play on both ends of the floor, I just like you run out of superlatives for it. It's just been so good, and he's been so much fun to watch. Been so much fun.
Yeah, like what else could he do? Absolutely, what else could he do?
Well, aside from this game, I mean, aside the other games haven't really been this much of a blowout.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Okay, so this game, it's sort of ending on a downer, as Anthony Stark points out in chat. But the series as a whole, we've seen some fantastic individual performances. The Jimmy Butler triple doubles, 2 in this series. Shot blocking and low post play from Anthony Davis. LeBron doing a bit of everything. So there's been some extraordinary individual performances throughout the series. And indeed throughout the playoffs. Miami's been a lot of fun to watch. LA, to some extent, people have sort of expected, people were picking them coming in. I know a few people were picking the Clippers.
Fran didn't work out.
Fran picked the Clippers. And, that was a star-studded lineup, but the Lakers have just been, the best team coming through. And we've had some great performances. Miami's just going to be that little bit short. Their final was Game 5.
Yeah.
Their final game was Game 5, and they just haven't had. I've said it a few times in the chat. I think it's just they got no gas in the tank. they just haven't had the hustle. And 30 points is not a little bit, but I think it's just a reflection of the Lakers had that bit in reserve. They had that extra gear that they could go to. The Heat used up their fuel in Game 5.
Yep.
But absolutely no. I mean, if you're a Heat fan, this has been a fun team to watch. They're going to be a fun team to watch next year. There's absolutely, no humiliation here. No shame in the Heat losing in this kind of environment to, what everyone thought preseason was going to be the best team in the comp.
For sure.
And I'd absolutely be lining up for Heat tickets if I was in Miami.
And maybe when we finally get to travel, because our parents are in Miami, we might, for me and Frank, we might actually get to go. American Airlines Arena, right downtown, actually, not too far away.
I was going to see, my parents are only a couple of kilometers that way.
Yeah. Different continent. Has there ever been a 30-point Game 6 blowout? There have been 30-point blowouts in the finals. We reviewed this stat earlier, didn't a couple games ago, I thought.
Yeah, I think we did, because there were a few games that were looking to head to a blowout and they never quite got that far.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, to your point earlier, I mean, we've seen spectacular performances. If you go all the way back to the start of the finals, remember it was the Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray back and forth. And those two young players playing exceptionally well. That Game 7 series, putting up 50-plus points in games. I mean, credit to the NBA and what they've been able to do to give us to actually give us a finals here. And as LeBron emphatically throws that down, and he gets called for a technical, I think. Is this a technical?
I'm just waiting to see what comes up on the stat feed here.
Because he hits the backboard.
Yeah, tapping the backboard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is a technical. LeBron James
It's
is
cheap.
called for a technical for the excessive celebration as he throws down a two-handed slam and hits the backboard. Technically
I
the
think
right call, but
yeah, technically it's equipment interference. And yes, Sextus, we were at the 4-minute media timeout, so there's 3:57 left now in regulation.
yeah, yeah. So we had to. We don't actually we don't have commercials, right? So we have to just sort of keep going. Robinson gets 3, but there's a foul on the floor before that. So
Yeah, yeah, that's on Caldwell Pope. Yeah, we don't get commercials here on our stream, and then I don't get commercials on League Pass. So,
yeah.
I can do ad reads if anyone wants to send me.
No, because then we would have to put hashtag ad and like uh, that's not part of it. So do you think the Lakers are going to get another championship next year? Well, depending on who they're able to like bring back. I mean, they have a nucleus here between LeBron and AD. It's really about who the role players are and how they can fit those pieces together. And when you have a two, wow, LeBron James there just locked in, manages to get that floater as he fades away left. It's not too hard to find. It doesn't seem too difficult to find pieces who are willing to come and play with stars like LeBron and AD. Um, it just matters whether they can show up, right? And I mean, in this game, the bench from LA was just on fire from the start. It wasn't that way in game 5, that's for sure. Yeah.
No, and they've just had, they've had everyone come to play tonight.
Yeah, as Chad's pointing out, they may get some more resistance out in the West if Golden State is back with both Curry and Thompson. If they can manage to sort of go back to their full strength, obviously still having their Draymond Green. So put those big
Yeah,
three back
and
together.
and if they can get a contributor because they've got a high draft pick this season. I think they've got second or third overall. If they can get a contributor there as Tyler Hero steps into a 3, yeah, Golden State could be one to watch.
2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this 20-point game here. And it looks like Miami is ready to clear its bench, actually.
Yeah, Butler gives up the foul, and that's going to bring in the bench players.
Yep.
Just did a quick Google search for biggest blowout in elimination game. There was a Chicago Utah game in the 98 finals that finished 96-54.
That's an MJ game.
Yeah, that was in the Last Dance season.
Yeah.
54 was the full-time score.
Against Karl Malone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
James misses the 3, gets the rebound.
Staffing the stat sheet, why not? I mean, I think I like your call with AD the MVP, but I think the 3 triple doubles are just going to be too much. I'm very curious to see which way the MVP voting goes.
Yeah,
I don't know. Let's ask chat. Chat, wisdom of the crowds, hit us up. Who's going to win the MVP for the finals? You can, I guess you could go, you could really pick anybody, but if AD, LeBron, or if you really want to troll, you pick like J.R. Smith, I suppose. Either way.
I mean, you could argue with Butler, but it's pretty unlikely that the MVP is going to be on the losing side.
On the losing side, yeah.
Kendrick Nunn hitting the 3 here as we're now in full garbage time. The stoppage will bring in the Lakers bench.
Let's see, we got 6 LeBrons and 1 AD. Yeah. Game 5 put LeBron over. Interesting. Yeah, Jeff Bezos is saying, all I'm asking is to Heat players is not hold their heads down and just, this has been a wild season. I totally agree. Potentially, like, not, I think a lot of people out of the East expected, number one, the Bucks, Giannis and the Bucks to be here. And if that wasn't the case, they expected then the Celtics to be here. And nobody really expected Miami
maybe
to
the
be
Raptors.
here. Oh,
Raptors
yes.
is a third choice.
Yes, maybe the Raptors. But Miami deserved to be here, and they played their hearts out. So,
but yeah, an Eastern Conference championship pennant for the Heat is not a bad outcome for the season. Just quickly, we have a timeout. The Lakers have called time here. They've burned their last one just to get one more commercial in. Jeff Bezos is also asking on the Twitch side, do you think Dante Exum can get his career? I wonder if they look at something like Andrew Bogut did, where they stash him in Australia for a season just so he doesn't have quite the sort of 82 game grind, and try and recover that match fitness. Because Andrew Bogut came down, played for the Sydney Kings, played a 30 game stretch for Sydney rather than the 82 games for Golden State, and then got picked up on a finals contract late in the period. So I wonder if you bring him down here just where you don't quite have the day in, day out grind, and see if he can get his form back that way, and then go into an Olympic campaign, because Exum would be picked for the Boomers if that's, if he's fit, going to Tokyo next year, and then you try and rebuild your NBA career from that kind of momentum. A good NBL season, a good Olympic campaign, head back that way.
Yeah, the Bucks, kind of as Sextus is pointing out, were quite a disappointment there. I didn't even think that at times Giannis was the best player on the Bucks. I thought it was actually Chris Middleton. Everyone's saying Jimmy left the 76ers to go for Miami for the beach. Oh, man.
Butler apparently wanted to stay in Philly, and they just couldn't get the deal done.
Well, he's ended up with a spot here in the finals. It didn't go his way, as we're now finally under a minute to go. And Anthony Davis will win his first championship.
And that is absolutely the bench. Quinn Cook shooting the three there. Dwight Howard is on. JaVale McGee's on. Caldwell Pope giving up the foul there. That's his fifth, for what that's worth, with 40 seconds to go. Where would I put Dante in the NBL? I readmit Townsville. I don't know. I don't know where. Maybe Cairns? Although Cairns already has a next star signing, so I don't know. We'll think about that.
Final shots here for Miami as Kendrick Nunn tries a three. It's no good. Rebound down to Olynyk, and he will finish it out. So 90 points for Miami. This might do it, although there is about 5-second game clock shot clock differential. LA will put
Howard
up
for three.
Three.
Howard for three.
Dwight Howard, why not? Why not? Might as well flip the pen over my head at this point. 3-point shot. I mean, icing on the cake at this point. And J.R. Smith has, in J.R. Smith fashion, taken his shirt off. As
Yellow card.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a J.R. Smith thing. Why not?
And that's it, and that's all.
And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Here on this 11th of October, the NBA season is finally concluded. The Los Angeles Lakers are your NBA champions of 2020 in what has been an absolutely crazy season full of disruptions and just general year of absolute craziness. The Lakers have won their 17th championship, led by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The yellow, purple, and white confetti all over the court here in Orlando. Mutual respect among both teams.
Ties the Boston Celtics with 17 pennants, banners. 28, 14, and 10, the final tally for LeBron James in this one. Anthony Davis, 19 and 15.
A storybook ending here to the season for LA. Again, the overshadowed by the passing of Kobe Bryant earlier this year, Laker legend. Championship in his memory for sure here this year.
Kobe and Gigi, for that matter, both strong supporters of basketball, both the Lakers and the Sparks in LA. And so it's just a matter of, we'll get the presentation and then we'll see who gets the finals MVP.
We're going to see if Chat's right or if Derek is right. And Rolla, thank you. No, thank you. Thank you for hanging out in chat. Thank you, everybody who's been hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate all the support.
Just going over, we'll just go to the team stats while we got to vamp for a few minutes while they set up the stage and the presentation. Yep. The Heat did improve their shooting. So 106-93 was the final. So if you bet on the spread at halftime, Miami covered,
There you go.
but they were never going to come back from that kind of margin. The lead was 36 at one point. Lakers led from 2-0 all the way to the end. So Miami did not lead at any point in this game. Low foul count, 22-18. One technical of LeBron with the backboard tap.
Yep.
Fast break point 16-8. That improved a bit for Miami near the end. Turnover count probably a bit high, 15-14, but not outrageously so. But just that shooting earlier on, the stats evened up as Miami made that run late, but Miami's shooting not great. Free throw shooting still not fantastic. And points in the paint and fast break points, just the big difference early on. A 36-16 second quarter, a 64-36 half. And really the foundation for the win was laid very early in this one. The scoreline, we've been talking all day about, Miami shouldn't be embarrassed about this, but the scoreline does flatter Miami a bit at the end.
The Louis Vuitton case is making its way to center court. Stephen A. Smith originally said Lakers in 6, and he did. Well, he got it right to his credit.
See, I love that we've gone to all the effort of the Louis Vuitton case, and it's being brought out by two tech guys in jeans and sneakers.
Yes. Right? At least they should be wearing suits.
Yeah, at least the Stanley Cup, the guy who handles the Stanley Cup had a tux.
There you go.
He actually has his own Twitter account. He's at Keeper of the Cup.
Ooh. Is he also the one that engraves it?
Believe so.
Ah, there you go.
But yeah, they have a full-time Stanley Cup handler. That would be my dream job. Just follow the Stanley Cup around.
It doesn't actually go to the... Does it sit with the teams, or does it sit in some central location?
Every player gets a day with it.
Ah.
But technically they get a replica. The real one's in Toronto at the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Ah, there you go. All right.
Rachel Nichols will do the honors for ESPN courtside.
With Commissioner Adam Silver.
He's just talking about the season restart and the efforts the NBA had to go to. He did a media availability day just before the finals started, just talking about, what it's taken to get the season restart finished, to get the bubble established, to get the protocols in place, to make sure that everyone's safe, to get the COVID testing in place. And, it's a monster effort, but they've done a fantastic job in getting the season not just finished, but getting it underway in the first place.
Yeah.
And then they followed that model for the WNBA to get the Wobble up and running in Bradenton under the same sort of rules. So it's been great getting the season finished. And now the real work starts to see what they do for 2021.
Yeah, I mean, to the NBA's credit, right? I don't think there were any serious issues or scares that I could think of while the teams were in the bubble.
No, other than Lou Williams' chicken wings run, that was they had no positive tests in the bubble, no positive tests in the secondary bubble with the commentators or Disney staff. It's worked out really well.
And yeah, in sort of juxtaposition to what's going on with like the NFL at the moment. But yeah, to your credit, I don't like. It's fine if you sort of run a month of playoffs, right? But how would you run an entire season like this? Would all the teams might be slightly difficult.
Yeah, just the sheer volume of accommodation. Trying to house 30 teams, and yeah, Mark said there was in the WNBA there was a non-conclusive test in the Seattle series just before the semifinals, but in the end, no positives. So it did work out. But yeah, they did have that scare. I'll give you that one.
Jeannie Buss at the mic.
They gave the trophy to Rajon Rondo first, which was interesting.
Well, I think J.R. Smith kind of wrapped around and took it first. He's like, I want that one because I was never going to win one on the Knicks.
Is that Howard's first championship?
Dwight Howard, perhaps. Yeah. He was at Orlando for a long time, right? And they made a Eastern Conference Finals, but ended up losing to LeBron. So if you
Yeah,
can't
and then
beat
he
him,
was,
join him.
yes,
Yeah.
it is Howard's. And then he was at Houston for a bit,
Yeah.
and then he's gone to the Lakers here. So Jeannie Buss still talking, thanking Laker Nation.
Hey, Cengage, good evening.
The purple and gold confetti
Still waiting on the
everywhere in
actual
Orlando.
MVP.
Caruso 1-for-1 in the finals. Retire undefeated.
Yes.
Quit while you're ahead. No, unless you knew you were retiring, you wouldn't be retiring after a win.
Frank Vogel here in his rookie season as the Lakers coach, not a rookie coach by any stretch, but first season as the Lakers coach, gets it done. I like Steve Kerr in his first season also got it, didn't he?
Yeah, first season as head coach, he was an
Yeah.
assistant at San Antonio for a bit.
And then has rings from his time with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, so championships as coach and player and assistant.
Yep.
And yeah, all of the Lakers played well in this game. You could argue that this is the first game where the Lakers had a full contribution from everyone. They had no weak points in the roster. So just a dominant. This was the game. I'd been saying that the Lakers had one more gear they could shift up, and this was the game where they found it.
And it was on the defensive end, which really keyed off those easy transition opportunities, the runouts, and really kind of blew the game open, especially in the second quarter.
Held Miami to just 93. Talking about Frank, Rachel Nichols saying he's the right coach for the team, and that's not an easy thing necessarily. I mean, you don't have to teach Davis and LeBron James and that how to play basketball, but sometimes it's just a matter of sort of not necessarily ego management, but just keeping everyone focused in that environment, keeping them, keeping your eyes on the prize, just making sure there's no personal disruptions, making sure everyone's comfortable with their role. And that can be a tough role.
The finals MVP going to LeBron James here. So Shaq got it right. Shaq got it right. The triple-double is too much.
Yeah, and I can't argue with that. I mean, I as much as I liked AD's performances, you can't really put it past LeBron. When it came to the big games, he put up the numbers.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, I think he, granted, had he taken the game-winning shot and made it at the end of last game, it would have been like, oh yeah, MVP, right? But he came out and had a spectacular performance today as well. So, yeah. Did James glare at everybody, making it too terrified to give it to somebody else? No, I mean, I think we made cases for, fair cases for both LeBron and AD. It could have really gone either way. Finals career high of 59% from the field. 29.8 points per game, 11.8 rebounds. Did you happen to catch the assists?
I think it was 8 and a bit.
Okay. Almost averaging a triple-double.
And so, yeah, LeBron just saying, for me to be a part of a franchise with this history, because again, that's 17 championships now. So, LeBron's, LeBron in a Lakers jersey holding the trophy, that's the same as, I think that's the reason he looked at LA. If he wants to leave a legacy, as the Lakers catch cry was this year, you want to be mentioned in the same breath as a Magic or a Kareem or a Kobe or a Shaq. You want to be the biggest star on the brightest stage. And in the NBA, the Lakers are that premium franchise.
Four-time finals MVP. Only player in NBA history to win with 3 different teams. the MVP, that is. We already kind of reviewed that there have been players that have won the NBA Finals with multiple different franchises. Big City Millionaire, hey, how you doing? Good evening to you. Just wrapping up our finals coverage here.
Yeah,
As
the answer to what's good is if you like purple and gold, everything right now.
Everything. Indeed, indeed. Ooh, the LeBron is better than MJ. Those are possibly fighting words there. To some, I would have to say.
I don't think you'd get too much argument saying that right now LeBron is still at what 37, still the best player in the world. Like you put him on any team, it turns them into a contender immediately. He's looked after himself, Derek, in terms of his fitness.
Any closing thoughts here?
Closing thoughts, just congratulations to LA. They were the best team. They put in a dominant performance today. You could argue they got a little bit lucky with the Miami injury toll, but you can only play the team that's in front of you.
Yep.
And when they were sort of criticized for coming up short in game 5, a bad final play didn't work out. They came out in this game, played absolutely dominantly for 36 minutes, and then the rest of it's just garbage time.
Yep.
Everyone on the roster contributed. The 2 stars contributed. They got good contributions from the rest of the starting 5. Stifling defense, excellent play all the way from 1 through 7, and just the best team here. The Heat, absolutely no embarrassment in this series. They just ran out of gas.
So much fun to watch. So much fun to watch.
Loads of fun to watch. They'll be even more fun next year. Get those guys fit again. Get Adebayo fully fit. Jimmy Butler with 1 more year in the system. Butler's proven he can go. I mean, there was no doubt before this series, but absolutely on the biggest stage, he shone brightly in this series.
Yeah.
There's a lot to look forward to if you're a Heat fan. It's been a fantastic series to watch. Great individual performances. A lot of Butler jersey sales, I think, coming out of this series. And now it's just a matter of we got a month to the draft, and then maybe only 2.5, maybe 3 months to the new season. And Mark Hathaway saying Hero, a rookie in the finals, is amazing. Hero didn't necessarily play at his best in this series, but in the series against Boston, he was fantastic. And so, there's a lot to look forward to if you're the Heat.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely sensational play all around. This has just been a ton of fun across across the entire finals, right? We were covering it from the very start and now up to the very end. As Derek was saying, congratulations to the LA organization, to LeBron and all the players, and AD and all the players, and Quinn Cook, fellow Blue Devil, who now has his 2nd ring after he got one with Golden State. And biggest thank you to all of you guys and gals in chat. Thank you so much, both across the Twitch and the YouTube platforms, for hanging with us, for the subs, for the follows, for the absolute support. It's been sensational. It's been an amazing ride. Please hit the follow or the subscribe button here on the Twitch and the YouTube platforms. Oz, put your Twitch handle there into the chat as well. That is going to conclude our NBA coverage for this season. We will continue with the NFL on Thursday Night Football. So hit up our Discord as well, where we have the latest news and schedule for you, because Thursday Night Football might be slightly disrupted. But
come hang with us in the Discord where we'll talk all sports.
Exactly, and we just love to have conversations like this every day. Thank you so much for an amazing season. Derek, thank you for co-casting with me. It's been incredible.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you very much, everybody. Congratulations once again to the LA Lakers. And from all of us here at Relive Sports, good night. Stay safe. Thank you. Cheers. Praise Bob.
Praise Bob.
Praise Bob.